In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Dear Lord, thank you for this day and for the countless blessings that you continuously give to us. Through your grace and mercy, may we continue to add gratitude and happiness in the lives of the people around us. Subtract guilt and hatred in our hearts, multiply and share our blessings to others, and divide and show equal treatment and love to every people we encounter. Grant us wisdom, O Lord, that we may learn intangible yet valuable lessons today. This we ask from your holy presence and name, O Lord Jesus Christ. Amen. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hi mga kawawmat! In this video, we will discuss the introduction to measurement. So our objectives, we will describe what it means to measure. We will describe the development of measurement from the primitive to the present. And we will also describe the two standard systems of measure. So first, let's have an activity. What is the world's largest snake? So ito yung pinagtatalunan. Ano nga ba ang pinakamalaking snake? Is it the anaconda or the reticulated python? Okay, so which is larger? So before we answer this, let us define first what is measurement. So a measurement is a process of comparing an unknown quantity to a standard known quantity. Okay, so this is where we are comparing from an unknown quantity to a standard known quantity. It involves the following. A, you should identify the attributes. So, ano ba yung attribute na tinatawag natin? Length, volume, and weight. So, ito po yung mga yun. So, halimbawa, nagko-compare kayo ng dalawang object. So, dapat alam mo kung ano yung i-compare mo. So, dapat alam mo kung anong unit or attribute. Okay? So, halimbawa, saan mo sila susukatin? Saan mo sila i-compare? Yung length ba nila? O yung weight nila. So, dapat, bago tayo mag-compare, i-identify muna natin kung saan ba natin sila i-compare. In terms of what? In terms of length? Is it in terms of its weight or volume? So, dapat alam muna natin yung attributes na tinatawag. Okay? And then, after that, after identifying the attribute, halimbawa length, then you have to select the unit of measure. Is it kilometer? Is it meter? Centimeter? If it's weight, is it gram, kilogram, ganon. If it's volume, liter, centiliter, milliliter, ml, diba? So, yun po yung tinatawag nating selecting the unit of measure. So, kapag nagko-compare po tayo, when we say measurement, it must involves the following. So, dapat meron ka muna nito. Identify mo kung ano yung i-compare. Is it the length, the volume, or the weight? Yun yung tinatawag nating attributes. And then after identifying the attribute, you have to select the unit of measure. Okay? So, if it's length, nabanggit ko kanina kung ano-ano yon. And then, we can now compare the attribute of the object to the unit of measure. So, dapat ito muna ang alam natin. So, kagaya kanina yung previous slide, tinatanong, what is the world's largest snake? Which is larger? Okay? So, paano ba natin sasagutin which is larger? So, dapat identify muna natin yung attribute, the weight, the length. Okay? So, hindi yan volume ha, kasi hindi naman yan liquid. Okay? So, the weight and the length. So, let's say the anaconda weighs 500 pounds. So, this is pounds. Okay? LB is the symbol for pounds. And then for the reticulated python, that is 440 pounds. Okay. And then for length, in terms of length, The anaconda measures 27 feet and 9 inches long, while the reticulated python, that is 32 feet. Okay, so after identifying the attributes, so kinuha natin yung weight nila and then yung length. Let us now select the units of measure. So, dapat, bago tayo mag-compare, ano ba itong units of measure? So, dapat ang units of measure mo, yung unit mo, eto po yung mga units, dapat pareho. So, we cannot compare, hindi tayo pwedeng mag-compare kung yung unit mo ay magkaiba. So, halimbawa, ito, pounds, tapos dito meron kang kilogram. Hindi mo pwedeng i-compare yon na magkaiba ang unit. Okay? So, they must be the same units of measure. Kaya dapat i-select mo yung units of measure. Dapat kasi pareho before we compare. So, kapag magkaiba yan, i-convert mo muna yung isa sa kapareho niyang unit. So, dapat pareho po bago tayo mag-compare. So, ganun din po ito. So, bago tayo mag-compare, so ito na-compare natin dahil pareho silang feet. Okay? Bakit dito may inches, dito wala? Kasi dito, meron siyang butal. So, kapag merong sobra dun sa feet, we can write this as inches. Okay? So, after identifying the attribute, ayan, pounds ang ginamit natin. And then, dito, feet ang ginamit natin. Then, ayun na nga yung units of measure. So, sagutin natin yung tanong kanina. Which is larger? Okay? So, which is larger is depending on the attribute kung ano po ang tinatanong. So, halimbawa, ang tinatanong ay, which is larger in terms of weight, then, anaconda is larger. Okay? And then, which is larger in terms of length, then, the reticulated python is larger. Okay. So, ganun po ang pagko-compare ng dalawang objects. So, dapat same muna ng attribute and then pareho rin po sila ng units of measure. So, we cannot compare this na, ay, mas malaki to kasi 500 pounds siya. Okay? In terms of weight, mas malaki siya. Pero, mas malaki ito in terms of length. Okay. So, dapat na ganun po tayo mag-compare. Dapat pareho po ng attribute at pareho po ng unit. Hindi mo pwedeng i-compare ito dito. Okay? So, dahil magkaiba sila, this is weight, this is length. Now, let's proceed to the non-standard units of measure. During those times, nung mga panahon pa ng Babylonians, Egyptians, and our, of course, Filipino ancestors. So, the units of measure used in ancient times were chosen for convenience rather than accuracy. Why? Okay? So, para sa kanila, hindi sila nakatuon dun sa accuracy. Basta masukat nila. So, ito yung unang panahon, no? Nung primitive time. So, basta masukat nila yung object, makuha nila yung distance, okay na yun. Sapat na yun sa kanila. So, they do not focus on the accuracy. Ang focus nila is yung convenience. Okay. And then distances were judged by time, by eye, or by pace, and sizes were compared in terms of stones, trees, and or other objects common to their surroundings. So, since nung unang panahon nga, wala pa silang instrument na pwede nilang gamitin o devices para ma-measure nila yung mga objects, lalo na ang distance. So, paano nila yung sinusukat? So, by pace, hakbang, by eye, so by observation, no? Mere observation, by time. And then, yung sizes naman, para masukat nila, gumagamit sila ng stone, trees, and other objects na common sa surroundings nila. So, para pare-pareho sila, so yung ginagamit nilang objects na panukat ay yung meron sila. Okay? And then, historical records indicate that the first units of length were based on people's hands, feet, and arms. So, nung unang panahon, during Babylonians, Egyptians, our Filipino ancestors, ang ginagamit nila noon ay human body. Okay? Since wala pang measuring devices noon or instrument, wala silang magamit. So, ang ginagamit nila noon para sa kanila sapat na po kasi nga convenience po ang ano nila rather than accuracy. So, way po noon ng pagsukat ng mga distance or yung length ng mga objects or weight ay through their human body. So, gumagamit sila ng kamay, ng paa at ng arms. Ano-ano nga ba ito? So, during the Babylonians and Egyptians, so gumagamit po sila ng hand. So, nung unang panahon, ang ginagamit lang po nila, they are using their hand. Ano ba yung hand? Ito yung simula dito, yung gilid dito sa may thumb mo, hanggang dito sa little finger, simula dyan, hanggang dito, ayan po yung sukat ng isang hand sa kanila. So, ang pagsukat nila noon, ilalapag nila yung kamay nila, tapos bibilangin nila kung ilang hand, ganun sila magsukat noon. And sometimes, they're also using the cubit. Ano ba yung cubit? Ito rin yung tinatawag nilang Pharaoh's arm. So, ito po yung tinatawag nilang Pharaoh's arm. Bakit Pharaoh's arm? Kasi ang cubit, 1 cubit, is equivalent to, simula dito sa tip ng middle finger hanggang sa elbow, that is 1 cubit para sa kanila. So, ito rin na ginagamit nilang panukat noon. So, kapag nagsusukat sila noon, cubit po ang ginagamit nila na kapag medyo mahaba na siya, no? So, hindi mo pwedeng gamitin ng hand, lalo na pag mahaba na. Okay? And then, trivia lang na if you are familiar with the building of the Great Pyramid at Giza, so yun po ang ginamit nilang panukat doon, the cubit. Okay, so kung familiar kayo doon. And then they are also using the foot. So I know we are all familiar with this kasi na-adapt natin ito. So yung foot, ito po siya. So yung talampakan mo simula dito hanggang dito, that is 1 foot for them. So 1 foot na po ang sukat niyan. So simula dito hanggang dun sa sakong, that is 1 foot. Isang talampakan. And then they are also using the piece, especially kapag ang kinukuha nila ay distance. So, ano nga ba itong piece? Ito yung isang hakbang. So, itong paa mo, simula dito, pag humakbang ka hanggang dun sa pinaghakbangan mo, yun po ang isang piece. Isang hakbang po yun. Okay? So, again, they are using hand, cubit, foot, and pace nung unang panahon ng Babylonians and Egyptians. So, ito po ang paraan nila ng pagsukat ng distance at mga objects sa paligid nila. Kasi they are using their human body or their parts of their body. Okay, another. Span. Ito, ngayon ginagamit natin ito, no? Pero hindi natin siya ginagamit for accuracy. Okay? Yung mga tansya-tansya, 'di ba? So sa kanila noon, sa kanila po nanggaling ito yung span. Ang span, ano nga ba yung span? Ito, dangkal. Ito yung dangkal in Tagalog. So simula dito, 'di ba, yun ang span, simula dito hanggang dito, yun po ang isang dangkal natin. So sa kanila rin po iyon nanggaling. Okay? So ginagamit rin po nila 'yan. And then we also have the yard. So, noon pa lang pala na nakilala na po ito, no? Para sa kanila, yung isang yarda ay simula daw sa tip of the nose, ganun po ang pagsukat nila, hanggang sa tip po ng middle finger. So, simula dun sa tip of the nose hanggang tip po ng middle finger. Now, ito karamihan dito, na-adapt natin, 'di ba? Yung foot, yung span, nagagamit natin to ngayon. Though, ito hindi natin ginagamit for accuracy kasi dangkal ano lang to for estimation. Okay? And then yung yard nagagamit natin siya. So marami tayong na-adapt during those times ng Babylonians and Egyptians. Okay? So you have to familiarize yourselves dito sa mga body parts na ginagamit noon ng mga primitive times. So hand, cubit from the tip of your middle finger up to your elbow, that is 1 cubit, and then your foot, and then the pace is akbang, and then the yard from the tip of your nose up to the tip of your middle finger, and then yung yard, yung dangkal na tinatawag natin. Okay? So, ito po yung mga nagginagamit noon ng mga Babylonians and Egyptians during their times. They are using their body parts. Okay. And of course, sa ating Filipino ancestors, so actually medyo na-adapt natin yun yung ginagamit ng Babylonians and Egyptians, nagagamit natin siya. So yung dangkal, ito nga po yung span, and then dipa, hakbang, ito yung pace, talampakan, foot, dakot. Etong dakot, kapag ginagamit to noon, kapag yung halimbawa, ang susukati nila ay yung maramihan, halimbawa asukal or bigas, yun, dakot po ang ginagamit nilang panukat nun. Ngayon sa atin, cup, gumagamit tayo ng cup, diba? Na merong measures na doon. So, nung time nila dakot, kamay din, tapos dadakot din. Okay? So, some non-standard units have become standardized. So, ito yung mga non-standard, kinukonsider nating standard, yung kanina sa mga Babylonians, and then ito sa ating mga Filipino ancestors. Why? Bakit siya kinukonsider na non-standard units of measure? Kasi nga, less dito yung pagkuha ng exact measurement. Okay? So, hindi mo dito makukuha yung exact measurement. It's more on estimation. So, nag-estimate sila at hindi siya accurate. Okay? Kaya siya tinawag na mga non-standard units of measure. Okay. Now, these non-standard units of measure during their times, since iba-iba nga sila ng sukat ng body parts, so as time goes by, nag-decide sila na make it standardized. Okay, nung panahon nila nag-decide sila, iba-iba sila ng sukat ng kamay, iba-iba ang sukat ng So, paano yun? Paano nila gagawing let's say uniform yung mga bagay-bagay na gagawin nila kung iba-iba sila ng ginagamit na panukat? Syempre iba-iba ang body parts natin, iba-iba ang sizes niyan. So they decided na gawin itong standardized. So nung panahon nila, ang hand nila, so nag-decide sila, sige, ang one hand is equivalent to 4 inches. So sila na po ang nag-decide. Okay? And then 1 foot, that is equivalent to 12 inches. And then 1 yard, that is equivalent to 3 feet or 36 inches. Since yung 1 foot natin ay 12 inches, therefore yung 1 yard, since 3 feet, edi 3 times 12, kaya 36 inches. Okay? So, ito po yung mga measures noon na ginawa nilang standardized para maging pare-pareho sila sa mga sinusukat nila. Okay? Now, yung iba rito, na-adapt natin. Okay? Na-adapt natin yung iba rito. Kaya naman, eventually, habang tumatagal, people realize that there is a need to have a common unit. So, nung time na marami nang kailangan sukatin, yung commerce, nandiyan na, trade flourish. So, na-realize ng mga tao na they need to use common units to facilitate the communication. Kasi, unti-unti nang nasisivilize, 'di ba? So, kailangan nilang gumamit ng common units para makuha ang size, quantity, at iba pa. So, dito nagsimula, dito lumabas yung development ng standard systems of measure. So, dito po lumabas yung development, dito po nagsimula yung standard units of measure. Okay? So, since, kaya nga habang tumatagal, lalong diba, nagsisivilize, nagiging standardized tayo paunti-unti. At yung iba dito ay nagagamit natin hanggang ngayon. Okay? So, ano-ano ba yung standard systems of measure? Dito na po nagpakilala ang US customary or yung tinatawag din nating English system. So, pareho lang po ito yung US customary is also called the English system and the metric system. So, naging standard na siya. Ito pong dalawa ang ginagamit natin hanggang ngayon. Okay. So, let us compare these two. So, the US customary or the English system and the metric system. So, i-compare nga natin itong dalawa. Ang English system, there is no base unit and prefixes. Pag sinabing prefixes, ito yung nasa umpisa. Okay? Yung halimbawa, kilo, mili, yun po yun, yung mga prefixes, yung nasa unahan. At wala siyang base unit. Okay? Wala siyang base unit. Hindi kagaya ng metric system, meron siyang base unit at meron siyang prefixes. Okay? Kaya, para sa kanila noon, ang English system requires a lot of memorization and not convenient to use. So, dahil may, nga siya, wala siyang base unit, tapos hindi mo siya madaling matatandaan dahil wala siyang prefixes, kaya it requires a lot of memorization. Okay? That's why for them, it is not convenient to use. For most countries, it is not convenient to use. Now, the metric system is widely used in different countries. So, ito yung ginagamit ng karamihan na bansa. Kasama na dito, syempre, ang Philippines. So, familiar po tayo dito. So, ipapakilala natin isa-isa si English system at si metric system sa mga susunod na video tutorials. So, yung metric system, isa po tayo sa gumagamit nito. Okay? Mas ginagamit natin to compare dito. Okay? So, because it is proven to be convenient and ideal to use. So, mas madali raw siyang gamitin, mas mabilis, at mas madali. So, ang gagawin natin, ano-ano nga ba yung mga English system? Alam ko yung iba sa inyo familiar dito. So, ito yung, dito pumapasok yung inches, pounds, ounce, mile. So, as you can see, no, bihira nating magamit ito. Tama? Ang metric system, ito yung kilo, hekto to ha, it should be hekto, deka, desi, centi, mili, ano pa, meron pa dito yung giga, mega, tera, 'di ba? Lalo na sa mga data natin. Giga, mega, tera. Okay. So, kilo, hekto. So, ito kilo, pag bumibili tayong bigas, kilograms. Pag may sinusukat tayong maliliit na bagay, that is centigram, centimeter. Okay. And then, pag mili, ito yung kapag sanbawa sa volume. Pwede rin milliliter, millimeter, milligram. So, milligram kapag yung sa mga gamot. Milliliter, ml, din sa mga bottled water. So, ito po ang ginagamit natin. So, metric system. Okay? So, dito tayo mas tawag nito? Yung mas convenient na gamitin. Okay? Compared to the English system. So, ito kasing English system, wala siyang base unit, wala siyang prefixes. So, as you can see, iba-iba siya. Hindi kagaya nito, meron siyang prefixes. Ito yung mga prefixes na tinatawag natin. So, halimbawa, meter, kilometer, decimeter, centimeter, millimeter. So, ito yung mga umpisa niya. Halimbawa, gram, kilogram, centigram, milligram. Diba? And then, halimbawa, liter, kiloliter, centiliter, milliliter. Yun po yun. So, dito, ito po ang ginagamit ng maraming bansa, kabilang na po ang Pilipinas. So, ito po ang pagkakaiba ng English system sa metric system. Kung paano mag-convert ng units sa metric system at sa English system, panoorin po ang mga susunod na video tutorials. Hi mga kawawmat! In this video, we will discuss the measures of length, weight, and capacity in the metric system. So what will be our objectives? Identify the basic units in the metric system, and we will convert measurements from one unit to another in the metric system. Alright, so look at the table. So I have here the origin, the prefixes, the symbol, and equivalent. So kung napanood nyo po yung ating introduction sa ating measurement, sana na-familiarize kayo dito sa mga terms na to. Okay? So the metric system uses Greek and Latin prefixes to make conversion from one unit to another easier. So gumagamit tayo actually ngayon kasi ginagamit rin natin ng metric system eh. So we are actually using the Greek and Latin prefixes. Ano ba 'yon? So a prefix is a power of 10 exponent or multiplier that precedes the unit. So, a prefix, ito po yung prefix. And then, ito po yung mga prefix na ginagamit natin sa pag nagko-convert tayo. Ito yung kilo, hekto, deka, meter. So, let's say for example, meter ang base unit natin. Okay? So, itong base unit, it can be gram or liter. Okay? So, deci, centi, milli. So, itong tatlo, it came from the Greek word, and then ito po ay sa Latin. So, itong mga prefixes na to, ito yung simula na ginagamit natin. Kaya naririnig natin yung kilogram, kilometer, kasi yung kilo. Ito yung prefix. Ang pinapalitan lang natin yung susunod. Okay? So, ano ba yung mga symbols nito? So, kapag kilo, that is K, hecto is H, deca is DA, or sometimes, baka ma-encounter nyo DK. Okay? And then for meter, M. For gram, that is G. And then for liter, capital L. And then for deci, that is D. For centi, that is C. And milli for M. Okay. So, ano itong tinatawag na power of 10? So, actually, kilo is actually 1,000 meters. Bakit 1,000? Paano siya naging 1,000? Kasi when we are converting a bigger unit to a smaller one, we are multiplying. So, ibig sabihin, 1 times 1,000, that is 1,000 meter. So, halimbawa, yung kilo, i-convert mo lang sa deka. 1 times 100 lang kasi dalawa lang siya. So, 100. Kaya 2 squared, ay 10 squared. Okay? So, 100 lang, kaya magiging 100 decameter. So, yung 1 kilo is equivalent to 100 decameter, and then 1 kilo is equivalent to 1,000 meter. And then, paano pag hekto? So, isang move lang siya, so 10 lang yon. So, 1 kilo is equivalent to 10 hectometers. Okay, so ganun po ang pag-convert natin ng metric system. So it is in the you can make use of the prefixes, which is also the power of 10. So ito po siya. Now, halimbawa, deci, centi, and milli. So paano naman ito? If you are asked to convert centi to meter, so since smaller unit to bigger unit, we are actually dividing. So since 1, 2, so 2 yan, so 100. So 1 divided by 100, that is 0.001. Okay? And then for milli, ganun din. So basta kapag bigger unit to smaller, we are multiplying. Pag smaller to bigger, we are dividing. Okay. So, let's have first the concept of length. So, length is a physical quantity. Its measure is of distance and the length of the object. So, kapag length ang tinutukoy natin, ang kinukuha natin dito ay yung distance or yung length ng isang object. Okay? So, ano ba yung mga instrument na pwede mong gamitin sa pagkuha ng length? So, I know, familiar tayo dito. So, pwede kang gumamit ng ruler. You can make use of the tape measure and the meter stick. So, ito po yung mga instrument na pwede nyo pong gamitin when we are measuring length. Okay? And then, for weight or mass, so actually, these two are often interchangeably used. Pero magkaiba po ang meaning nila. Okay? So, itong dalawa po na to ay magkaiba po ang meaning. Ano nga ba ang pagkakaiba nitong dalawa? So, weight relates to the gravitational pull of the earth upon a mass, while mass refers to the amount of matter contained in an object. So, yung mass po, ito yung matter contained in an object, while yung weight, pwede nating i-relate dito yung yung anong tawag nito? Related dito yung gravitational pull of the earth upon the mass. Okay? So, yun po ang pagkakaiba nila. Okay, however, yung kapag kinukuha naman natin ang mass ng object, it is accurately estimated by weighing it. So, tinitimbang lang naman natin pag kinukuha natin ang mass ng object. Okay? So, ano ba yung mga instrument na ginagamit natin dito? We are using, the weighing scale. Ito yung timbangan. So, lalo na pag namamalengke, no? Lagi natin nakikita to. So, kaya kapag mass and weight, ang ginagamit natin dyan, kilogram, gram, ayan po yon. So, dun po papasok yung weight. Okay? That's why we are using the weighing scale, or sometimes ito bihira, no? Pero, ito kasi alam ko ginagamit siya sa mas magagaan. So, ito po yon, yung balance. Okay? So, kapag mas lighter yung ating object, balance po ang ginagamit natin. Okay? And the last one is the capacity. So, it refers to how much a container will hold. So, gaano karami, like for example, yung bottled water, gaano karaming tubig ang kakasya doon. So, yun po yung capacity. Okay? So, it refers to how much a container will hold. Okay? And this is different to the volume. So, pag sinabi nating volume, kung ito ay capacity, gaano karami yung laman na mailalagay mo sa isang container, okay, capacity po yun. Pero if it's three-dimensional, okay, so there's already a space. So, it refers to how much space a region takes up. So, ito po, it's just a container. So, titignan natin kung ilan laman. Halimbawa, cup, bote. So, yun po yung capacity. Kapag halimbawa, ang gusto mong makuha ay gaano karaming tubig ang ilalagay mo sa pool. So, ayun, ano na yun? Three-dimensional na. Meron ka ng, meron ka ng length, width, and height. Okay? So, hindi na lang siya basta bote. So, volume po yun. Okay? So, remember that a volume of 1,000 cubic centimeters is equal to 1 liter. So, tatandaan po na for every 1,000 cubic centimeters, that is equal to 1 liter. So, ito po yung symbol niya. So, for every 1,000 cubic centimeters, that is equivalent to 1 liter. Okay? So, kagaya ng pool, halimbawa, ang sa'yo ay tawag nito pool, volume yon. Okay? Halimbawa, container o yung mga vase na pa-square, yon, volume. Aquarium, volume yon. Kasi, na siya, meron na siyang length, width, at height. Okay? So, capacity, ito yung kapag bote, baso, so yung mga ganun po. Okay. So, let us proceed to the basic unit in the metric system. So, kapag metric system, since tatlo yan, length, weight, and capacity, meron tayong tinatawag na basic unit dyan. Kumbaga, yun yung pinakagitna. Okay? Ito po yung pinakagitna. So, isa-isahin natin. So, ito yung mga prefixes mo. Ito yung basic unit. Siya yung pinakagitna. And then, yung prefixes. Okay? So, ano-ano ba yung mga basic unit? Kapag ang kinukuha natin ay length, yung haba o yung distance, the basic unit is meter. Okay, so ang symbol natin dyan is M. By the way, ang symbol natin for kilo is K, for hecto that is H, for deca that is DA, or pwede rin nga pong DK. And then for deci that is D, for centi that is C, and then for milli that is M. Okay, so kung ang kinukuha nyo po na sukat ay length, haba o distance, then the basic unit is meter. So, anong gagawin natin? Yung kilo mo magiging km. Kilometer. Okay? Kilometer. Kasi meter is the basic unit. And then hectometer. H and then M. And then DAM, decameter. So, deca and then meter. Because meter is the basic unit. And then decimeter, centimeter, millimeter. Okay. So, again, the basic unit for length is meter. And our symbol for that is M. So, dapat familiar din po tayo sa mga symbols. Kasi actually, madali lang siyang tandaan eh. Ang papalitan mo lang dito yung basic unit. Okay. Now, if you are converting measures of weight Okay, so ang basic unit po natin dyan ay gram. So, ang symbol po niyan ay G. Okay, G po ang symbol natin dyan. So, therefore, ang magiging symbol natin dyan ay kg, kilogram, Hg for hectogram, Dag for decagram, Dg for decigram, Cg for centigram, and Mg for milligram. Okay, ano napansin nyo? Pinapalitan lang natin yung basic unit niya. Okay, and then for liter, so take note ha, ang liter po natin, it should be capital letter L. Okay, so for capacity, when we are solving or converting units of measure for capacity, then the basic unit is liter. So ito yung, saan ba natin to ginagamit? Halimbawa, sa gamot, ml, di ba? ml lang tayo doon. So, yung gamot na mga liquid ha, syrup, okay? So, doon po yun. Halimbawa, yung tubig, ml yan. Yung mga soft drinks, liter, yan po ang mga ginagamitan natin ng capacity. Etong weight, saan ba ito ginagamit? Kapag, yung sa gamot na tabletas, di ba? Mga ano yun, milligram. So, ibig sabihin, milligram, pag mga gamot, milligram yan kasi sobrang gaan, okay? Yung mga powder, yung mga nabibili natin sa grocery na Coffee Mate, Nescafe, so yun mga yon, 'di ba? Kapag bumibili tayo, pag inutusan tayo, o anong bibilhin? Yung 250 milligrams lang, 'di ba? So, yun yung weight. Okay? And then for length, 'di ba? Dito natin ginagamit yung meter. Ilang kilometro simula sa bahay mo going to school, 2 kilometers, diba? So, yung mga distance, okay? So, yun po yun. At dun po natin siya ginagamit. So, for liter, kapag liter na po, papalitan lang natin yung basic unit. Kiloliter, hectoliter, decaliter, deciliter, centiliter, and milliliter. So, as you can see, halos pare-pareho lang siya. Basta kabisado po natin, memorize po natin ang mga prefixes. Okay? Prefixes po, kilo, hecto, deca, deci, centi, milli, or para mas madaling ma-memorize, you may use the acronym for, o yung, ano tawag nito, yung King Henry died by drinking chocolate milk. So, King Henry died by drinking chocolate milk. So, ibig sabihin, K is for kilo, hecto, deca, the basic unit, deci, centi, milli. So, para po mas madaling tandaan. Kasi pag natandaan mo to madali na. Kasi pag alam mo ang basic unit, you will just replace the basic unit. So, kilometer, kilogram, kiloliter, hectometer, hectogram, hectoliter. So, yun po. And then again ha, remind lang po na ang liter po natin, it should be capital letter L. Okay. Now, kagaya nga ng sabi ko kanina, if you are converting yung smaller unit, bigger unit to the smaller unit, we are actually multiplying. Okay? So, halimbawa, kinonvert mo si meter into decimeter. So, ita-times mo siya sa 10. Bakit 10? Kasi isang move lang siya. Okay? Pag dalawang moves, if you are trying to convert meter to centimeter, so dalawa, kaya 100. If you are trying to convert meter to millimeter, so 1, 2, 3, tatlo, kaya 1,000. So, we are actually multiplying it by the power of 10. Okay? Now, paano kapag halimbawa si meter, i-convert ko naman sa deca? So, pabaliktad. So, ano naman to? From smaller unit to bigger unit, anong sabi ko? We are dividing. So, yung 1 meter, i-divide mo by 10. If you're going to convert meter to hectometer, therefore, yung 1 meter mo i-divide by 100. Paano ba natin nalalaman na by 10, by 100, kung ilang moves ka? So, halimbawa, ito isa. So, 10 lang. Dalawa, 100. And then this one, divide by 1,000. Okay? So, ganun po. So, ulitin ko, if you are converting bigger to smaller unit, we are multiplying pa-right. Kapag pa-right ka, if you are converting smaller to bigger unit, pag pa-left, we are dividing. Okay? Saan siya i-divide? Kung ilang moves. So, halimbawa, ito naman. Hindi lang laging sa basic unit ang start, ha? Halimbawa, dito sa deci, i-convert mo siya into hecto. So, deci to hecto pa-left. So, from deci, 1, 2, 3, so tatlo, so divide by 1,000. Okay? So, halimbawa, sa deka, i-convert mo naman sa centi, sa milli. So, from deka, from bigger unit to smaller unit, magmumultiply tayo kasi pakanan. Tama? So, 1, 2, 3, 4. So, ano yung mayroong 4 na 0? 10,000. So, ita-times natin siya by 10,000. Okay? So, ganun lang po. So, a hecto is 10 squared. Okay? So, from the basic unit, so a hecto is 10 squared kasi smaller unit, 1, 2. Okay. From bigger unit to meter. So, halimbawa ito, pabalik ako. Bigger unit to smaller unit, pakanan. Ibig sabihin, magmumultiply tayo. Ng ilan? Saan natin siya ita-times? 2. So, 100. Kaya 100 meters. Okay? Next. Halimbawa, a deci. A deci is, so, -1. Bakit -1? So, if you are trying to convert deci to meter, ito po siya, deci to meter. So, isang move siya, di ba? Isang move pakaliwa. Di ba pag pakaliwa, we are dividing. Okay? So, isang move lang siya. So, 10 raised to -1. Bakit negative? Kasi pa-left tayo. So, pag pakanan, positive po ang exponent. Pag pa-left, negative po ang exponent. And this means divide. So, yung 1 meter mo, 1 deci mo, magiging 0.01 meters. Okay? Next. We have a kilo is 10 raised to 3. So, that is equal to 1,000 meters. So, this is actually, bilangin natin, 1, 2, 3. So, magmumultiply tayo by tatlong zeros yan. So, 1,000. Kaya, yung 1 kilo is equivalent to 1,000 meters. Okay. So, this is how we convert the metric system using the basic unit. So, tandaan po kapag pakanan from bigger to smaller unit, multiply po. Pag pakaliwa, smaller to bigger unit, we are actually dividing. Okay? So, this is how we convert. So, ito po siya. So, yung 1 natin, okay. So, correction po dito it should be 0.1. Okay, nasobrahan ko ng 0. Since 1 move lang siya, so 10 lang. So, isang move lang po. Kaya yung 1 mo, magmumove ka lang ng isa. Kaya 0.1 meters. Okay, next. So, I have here, so ito nga yung table. So, dapat nga kabisado natin yung mga prefixes. Kasi pag kabisado natin, King Henry died by drinking chocolate milk, madali nating mako-convert ang mga units of measure sa ating metric system. Okay? So, you just have to replace the basic unit kapag ganon. Okay? So, let's have an example. I have here 20 centimeters is equal to how many decameter? So, yung centimeter, gagawin daw po nating ilang decameter. So, ito siya. So, ang una mong gagawin, move mo. So, from centimeter, 1, 2, 3. So, dapat mag-end siya sa decameter. Ilang moves? 3. Okay, so, copy natin si 20. So, from here, simula dito, since 3 siya, 1, 2, 3. So, 3 din. Okay, so, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so meron tayong space dito, so maglalagay tayo ng 0. Okay, at kapag 0 ang nasa unahan, lagi tayo maglalagay ng decimal point at 0 sa dito. So, the answer is 0.020 decameter. So, we have 0.020 decameter sa 20 centimeters. Okay, next. So, I have 12.3 hectograms. How many milligrams? Okay. So, ito si hectograms. Bilang tayo papunta sa milligrams. Ang layo, diba? So, from here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, we have 5. So, copy natin si 12.3 from the decimal point. Okay. 5 daw, going to the right. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, ilan ang bakante natin? 4 na 0. So, lalagyan natin yan ng 4 na zeros. And then, the answer will be 1,230,000 milligrams. Okay. So, ayan po. And then, aayusin na lang po natin. Okay, so 1,230,000 milligrams. So, ganun lang po. Madali lang po siya. Kaya, actually, pwede nang pagsabay-sabayin ang length, weight, and capacity kapag metric system. Pero kapag English, medyo mahirap siya, no? Pero itatry natin. Okay? Next, 0.37 decaliters to milliliters. So, simula naman dito hanggang milliliters. So, bilang tayo, 1, dito pala, deciliters pala to, sorry. So, again ha, ayan, nalito ako. So, pag walang A, deci yun. So, simula dito, papuntang milliliter. So, 1, 2. Hindi ka pwede magpaganito ha, 1, 2. Hindi pwede kasi ang nauna dito ay deciliter. So, dito po. So, 1, 2. So, dalawa po 1, 2. So, copy mo yung given na 0.37. So, going to the right, dalawa daw. So, ito na lang po, mano-mano. 1, 2. So, nandito na yung decimal point mo. So, that is 37. Kapag ang decimal point ay nandito na sa dulo, hindi na yan nilalagay ha. Pero pag ang decimal point ay nandun sa unahan, sa left side, ilalagay po. So, since nandito na siya, hindi na po natin siya ilalagay. Okay? Next. So, I have 16 kilograms. How many grams? So, simula dito. How many grams? So, bilang tayo. So, 1, 2, 3. So, ganun ang gagawin. Tingnan mo yung unit. Yung kilograms, gagawing grams. So, 1, from kilograms, 1, 2, 3. So, tatlo. So, since ito ay whole number, asan ang decimal point niyan? Saan ka magsisimula? Dito po. Okay? So, bilang ka ng tatlo. 1, 2, 3. Ilan ang bakante? Tatlo. So, lalagyan mo yun ng tatlong zeros. And that is 16,000. So, diba? Ulitin ko ha. 1, 2, 3. Ayun po. Next. So, I have here 50 decimeters to centimeters. So, simula naman dito, papunta dito. So, isang hakbang lang. So, bilang tayo, isa. Papunta sa kanan. So, since nandito ang decimal point niyan, isa papunta sa kanan. So, ilan lang bakante? Isang zero lang. 500. Okay? So, di ba 50 from decimeter to centimeter, isa lang po papunta sa kanan. So, from here, kasi yun dito, isa lang po, 1. So, isang zero lang ang idadagdag natin. And take note ha, hindi po tayo maglalagay ng decimal point kapag nandito siya sa kanan. Next. So, I have 11.4 liters. How many hectoliters? So, liters to hectoliters. So, ito po. Simula tayo dito. So, 1, 2. Ulitin ko ha. Liters to hectoliters. 1, 2. Kung ano yung nauna, dun ka magsisimula. So, 1, 2. Dalawa. Dalawa pa left. So, from here, ito yung decimal point mo. 1, 2. So, malilipat lang yung decimal point niya. So, that will become 0.114 hectoliters. So, nalipat lang. 1, 2. So, napunta lang siya dito. And again, pag ang decimal point nandito sa left side, ilalagay natin. Pero pag nasa right side, kagaya niyan, hindi po natin ilalagay. Okay, next. So, 9.5 kilograms to milligrams. Ito si kilograms. At ito si milligrams. Ayun, dulo-dulo. So, bilang tayo. From kilograms to milligrams. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, 6. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pwede nyo rin itry ha. So, 6. So, bilang tayo ng 6. 1, may isa ka na. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, ilan yung bakante? 5. So, 1. So, kung isa na to, ibig sabihin, 5 pa yung igaganon mo, yung bakante. Okay. So, kung 5, ibig sabihin 5 zeros yun. Ito po. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, from 9.5, 6 na moves. Kasi from here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, from here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ayun po. And the last one, 12.5 millimeters to meters. So, ito po, millimeters to meters. So, pabalik. 1, 2, 3. Ulit. 1, 2, 3. So, tatlo pa left side. So, from here, 1, 2, 3. May isang bakante. Okay, so the answer is 0.0125 meters. So, ulitin ko ha, 12.5 dito siya. So, tatlong moves, di ba, papunta sa left kasi millimeters tayo to meters. So, from here, tatlo, 1, 2, 3. Kaya ayun po siya. Okay? Let's have more examples. So, ganun ulit. Dapat tandaan po ang ating mga prefixes and the basic units. So, paano kapag ganito? I have 50 kiloliters and then 20 decaliters. So, how many decaliters in all? So, ito, pinapa-convert ito ng decaliters. So, ito, naka-deca na. Paano ito? So, hindi mo siya pwedeng gawing 50 plus 20, 70. Hindi po, kasi magkaiba ng unit, di ba? Kung napanood nyo po yung intro natin sa measurement, so sana pinanood yun. Dapat, bago tayo mag-compare, dapat pareho muna sila ng units of measure. Okay? So, dapat pareho ng units. So, kung meron ka ditong nakakilo, hindi mo siya pwedeng ma-convert pa dyan. So, dapat, ang una mong gagawin, i-convert mo muna ito into decaliters. So, ito, i-convert ba natin? Hindi na po, kasi same na sila. So, since ang hinahanap po ay decaliter, so, ang gagawin natin, i-convert natin to into decaliter. So, yung 50 kiloliters, how many decaliters? So, punta tayo dito, ito siya. And then, i-convert natin to decaliter. So, 1, 2. Dalawa pa kanan. So, from here, 1, 2. So, may dalawang bakante. Ulitin ko ha. 1, 2. So, ibig sabihin, yung 50 kiloliters is equivalent to 5,000 decaliters. Okay. So, na-convert na natin siya. So, this is 5,000 decaliters. So, pareho na sila. Therefore, anong gagawin? I-add na lang natin si 5,000 at si 20. Therefore, ito po, yung 50 kiloliters and 20 decaliters is equivalent to 5,020 decaliters. Okay. So, ganun po ang gagawin. Next. So, I have here 124 centimeters, 55 decimeters. How many hectometers? So, ito, pinapa-convert to sa atin ng hectometers. Okay? Hectometer siya. So, paano natin gagawin? Iiba ang units. So, paano gagawin? So, i-convert muna natin si 124 centimeters. So, ito si centimeters. Isa-isa to. So, ito muna and then ito next. So, convert natin centimeters to hectometers. Ayan. So, from here, 1, 2, 3, 4. Apat. Ulit. 1, 2, 3, 4. Apat na pa left. So, nandito ang decimal point. 1, 2, 3, 4. May isang bakante. Okay. So, from here, 1, 2, 3, 4. So, 124 centimeters is equivalent to 0.0124 hectometers. Next. So, ito naman, yung 55 decimeters. So, ito siya. Pupunta tayo, gagawin natin siyang hectometers. So, bilang 1, 2, 3. Ulit. 1, 2, 3. So, tatlo pa left side. So, from here, 1, 2, 3. Ayun po. Okay, now, pareho na silang naka-hectometer. So, ito na po yung hinahanap natin. Anong gagawin natin? I-add natin siya. And that is 0.0674. So, add natin 4, 7, 6, and then 0. So, therefore, this is 0.0674. Okay. Let's have more. So, Cara has 2-liter bottle of juice. So, meron siyang bottle na merong laman na juice na 2 liters. How many glasses can it fill with 200 ml of juice? So, ilang baso ang malalagyan niya na merong 200 ml na juice? Okay. So, meron siyang 2 liters. Ilang baso ang malalagyan niya ng 200 milliliters. So, ang una mong gagawin, since naka-liter ito, kailangan gawin mo siyang ml. Kasi ang capacity lang ng baso ay ml lang. Okay? So, make this ml first. So, dapat gawin mo muna itong milliliters. So, convert 2 liters to milliliters. So, kung naalala nyo yung, sige nga, kung naalala nyo yung, natin, yung table, yung mga prefixes, ilang moves from liters to milliliters. Okay, very good. Tatlo. So, from liters to milliliters, tatlong moves tayo. So, going to the right. Kasi ang liters nasa pinakagitna. Dadaanan niya si deci, si centi, bago si milli. So, tatlong moves going to the right. So, therefore, that is 2,000. Why? Kasi from here, tatlong moves, 1, 2, 3. So, therefore, 2 liters is equivalent to 2,000 milliliters. Okay. Now, na-convert na natin siya into milliliters. Pwede na natin siyang ma-identify kung ilang baso ang malalagyan na merong 200 milliliters. Paano gagawin? I-divide natin ngayon si 2,000 milliliters sa 200 milliliters. Okay, so this will be cancelled. So, 2,000 divided by 200, that is 10. Okay, so therefore, Kara can fill 10 glasses with 200 ml of juice. So, 10 baso ang malalagyan niya ng juice na merong tigto 200 ml. Okay, so ganun po palagi. Bago tayo solve, bago tayo mag-divide, mag-multiply, dapat po nasa parehong unit sila. Okay? Next. A pool is 15 meters long and 10 meters wide. If it is to be filled with water to a uniform depth of 1.5 meters, how many liters of water are needed? So, merong pool na ang goal is dapat malagyan ng tubig. Okay. So, ang pool daw is 15 meters long, 10 meters wide, at ang lalim niya ay 1.5 meters. Ulitin ko, 15 meters long, 10 meters wide, at ang lalim niya ay 1.5 meters. So, ito po ay example ng volume. Okay, so volume na po ito. Yung kanina, bago ito, capacity. Okay. So, tatandaan, paano natin malalaman? Kasi ang tinatanong ay, how many liters? Diba, ang sukat niya ay naka-meters. Naka-meters ito, Pero, ito ay liters. So, paano natin magagawa yon? So, tatandaan na ang 1,000 cubic centimeters is equivalent to 1 liter. So, kailangan magkaroon tayo ng 1,000 bago tayo makabuo ng 1 liter para makuha natin kung ilang liters. Okay? So, dapat meron tayong 1,000 bago makabuo ng 1 liter. Okay? So, ang una natin gagawin, since naka-meters itong tatlo, ayan, naka-meter siya, gagawin muna natin siyang centimeters. Bakit centimeters? Ba't hindi millimeter? Ba't hindi kilometer? Ba't hindi hectometer? Kasi po, ito ang goal natin. So, dapat magawa natin siyang cubic centimeter. So, gagawin natin siyang centimeter para makuha natin yung 1,000. Okay? So, for 15 meters, how many centimeters? So, sige nga, ilang move from meters to centimeters? Okay, very good. Dalawa, going to the right. So, that is 1,500 kasi 1, 2. Okay, next. So, I have 10 meters. Ito yon yung wide niya. So, how many centimeters? Okay, so dalawang moves ulit. That is 1,000. So, 1, 2. And then for 1.5 meters, ito yung lalim. How many centimeters? 2 moves ulit. So, ito yung decimal point mo. 1, 2. So, merong isang bakante. So, that is 150 centimeters. So, from here, 1, 2. So, 150 centimeters po. Now, balikan natin ang formula ng volume. Diba? For us to get the volume, we have to multiply the length, the width, and the height. Okay? So, we have to multiply the length, the width, and the height. So, ito yung length, ito yung width, ito yung height. So, 1,500 centimeters times 1,000 centimeters times 150 centimeters. So, i-multiply natin siya. That is 225 million cubic centimeters. Okay. Paano siya naging cubic? Kasi ito tatlo po siya. Okay? Kaya kapag ganito ang given na problem, i-convert nyo po muna siya into centimeters since yun po ang hinahanap natin. Dapat cubic centimeters siya. So, since tatlo po yan, kaya naging cubic. Kasi centimeters times centimeter times centimeter, we are adding the exponent, so magiging cube siya. So, therefore, that is 225 million cubic centimeters. Now, tapos na ba? Hindi pa po. So, balikan natin to. Sa bawat 1,000 daw na cubic centimeter, that is equivalent to 1 liter. So, anong gagawin natin? I-divide natin si 225 million cubic centimeter sa 1,000 cubic centimeter. Kasi sa bawat 1,000 daw, meron kang 1 liter. So, divide natin siya sa 1,000 para malaman natin kung ilang 1,000 meron dito. Dahil kung ilang 1,000 meron dito, yun ang bilang ng liters. Okay? Now, pwede tayo mag-divide ha kasi same unit na sila. So, this will be cancelled. So, 225 million divided by 1,000, that is 225 liters. Okay? So, since dinivide natin to ilang 1,000 meron dito, nakuha natin 225, therefore, 225 liters siya. Kasi for every 1,000 cubic centimeters, that is equivalent to 1 liter. So, therefore, 225 liters po ang kailangan nating i-fill na water doon sa ating pool. Okay? Hi mga kawawmat! In this video, we will discuss the measures of length, weight, and capacity in the English system. Okay? So our objectives, we will convert measurements from one unit to another in the English system. So after natin magbigay ng magbigay ng example ng conversion ng English to English, we will proceed to the conversion of English from English system to the metric system and vice versa. Kaya nga po sabi ko, sana napanood muna natin yung metric system. Yun yung pangalawang video sa playlist natin. So, kung hindi nyo pa yun napapanood, panoorin muna natin yun bago tayo mag-proceed dito. Kasi meron tayo ritong conversion ng English to metric. So, kung wala tayong idea sa metric system, mahihirapan po tayo. Okay? So, let's proceed. So, the English system. So, it is based on the British Imperial System. So, dun tayo naka-base sa British Imperial System. Dun naka-base ang English system. Actually, meron tayong mga ginagamit na units sa English system. So, dito pumapasok yung its units evolved from non-standard units of measure in medieval times. So, kung napanood nyo po yung video tutorial natin dun sa Introduction to Measurement, doon diniscuss yung primitive papunta sa modern, yung yung na-modernize na siya. So, dun sa introduction natin, na-discuss doon kung ano ang mga ginagamit noong unang panahon during the Babylonians and Egyptians. So, ang mga ginagamit nila noon ay non-standard units. Kaya dito pumasok yung foot, talampakan, yung pace, yung cubit, yung yung hand. So dun pumasok yung mga yon. So non-standard, they are using body parts. So the human body serves as their instrument o yung ginagamit nila para masukat ang mga bagay sa paligid nila during those times. Now, dun sa mga non-standard units of measures nung unang panahon, meron tayong na-adapt doon. Okay? Kaya nagagamit pa rin natin hanggang ngayon yung foot, yung inch, yung yard, na kung saan nakuha natin sa kanila. Okay? So, the English system also has no base unit and prefixes. Hindi siya kagaya ng metric system. Kung napanood nyo yung video tutorial natin about the metric system, there are base units for length, weight, and capacity, and also there are prefixes. Kaya mas madaling mag-convert ng metric system compared to English system. Because the English system is more on memorization. You have to memorize the table of values o yung equivalence rather ng mga conversion ng one unit to another para makapag-convert ka ng English to English. So, dapat memorize mo yung bawat value niya, yung equivalence. Hindi kagaya ng metric na hindi mo kailangan mag-memorize kasi based doon sa kanilang prefixes, mas madali mo siyang masusundan, mas madaling mag-convert. Okay? So, in the English system, of course, meron din siyang length, weight, and capacity. So, sa length, kapag English system, dito papasok yung inch. Okay? Nakikita natin yan sa ruler, sa meter stick, at sa tape measure, yung inch. Okay? And then, we also have the foot. So, makikita natin yan sa meter stick. Okay? Yung one ruler actually is equivalent to 1 foot. Yung one ruler is equivalent to 1 foot kasi that is equivalent to 12 inches. Okay? So, yung 12 inches, that is equivalent to 1 foot. So, ito yung mga unang panahon no, na na-adapt natin hanggang ngayon. Kaya, ginagamit natin siya. Naging ano na siya ngayon, naging standardized. So, naging fixed na yung value niya. Kaya, standard na siya na ginagamit natin lahat ngayon. Now, papasok rin dito yung miles. So, ito po. So, miles and yung yard. So, yard, ginagamit natin siya ngayon. Kapag, kung mapapansin nyo, if you're going to let's say Divisoria or yung bilihan ng mga fabrics, 'di ba? Yung mga cotton. Paano nila sinusukat yung haba ng tela na bibilhin mo? They are using yard. Okay? If you have noticed, they are using meter stick. Okay? Pero yung ginagamit nilang sukatan is yard. Okay? Kaya kung papansinin nyo yung mga nagtitinda, yung mga vendor, hindi nila sinasakto yung pagsukat ng tela dun sa pinakadulo ng meter stick. Hindi sagad dun sa pinakadulo. Kasi pag sinagad yun, that is 1 meter already. So, 1 yard lang po tayo. Kaya nung unang panahon, ang sukatan nila is from nose to the yung pinaka-tip ng middle finger. Pero ngayon, since meron na tayong instrument, we are using meter stick. Pero hindi yun, hindi yun yung eksakto. Hindi nila sinasagad yung isang meter stick sa 1 yard. And then for weight, in the English system, dito papasok yung tons, ounce, and pounds. So, minsan, pag sa school, hinihingan tayo ng data ng ating weight, yung kilograms natin, yung bigat, yung weight natin can be converted into pounds. So, yun ang hindi natin minsan masagot. Halimbawa, ang tinatanong, how many pounds? Ilang pounds ka? Hindi mo masagot kasi mas madaling magbigay ng timbang na naka-kilograms, right? Kasi, why? Because we do not know the conversion. Okay? Hindi natin alam kung ilan ang equivalent ng pounds into kilogram. So, yun ang i-discuss natin ngayon. Okay? And then, yung ounce, ito yung ginagamit natin sa mga, diba, sa mga soft drinks. Bibili tayo, diba, minsan, 8 ounce. Pabili po ng soft drinks. Umiinom tayo ng soft drinks, 12 ounce, diba? Okay, aside from liter. Okay? So, ito naman yung sa English system. And of course, yung tons, ito yung weight. Okay? And then for capacity, dito pumapasok yung quarts, tablespoon, ito yung kapag panukat ng mga meron tayong gagawin, kapag baking or cup, yan ang ginagamit natin. So, gaano karami yung amount. Okay? So, ito po yung ginagamit natin. Quarts, tablespoon, ito yung mga units. Cups, pint, and then gallon, and of course, yung fluid ounce. Okay. So, let's have first the conversion for length. So, dapat alam natin yung table of equivalence kapag length ang pinag-uusapan sa English system. So, dito papasok ang inch, foot, yard, and mile. So, dapat we also have to familiarize ourselves with the symbols. Kasi there are cases na pag nagbigay ng examples, only the symbol. So for inches, we are using IN. For foot, we are using FT or feet. For yard, YD, and for mile, MI. Okay? And then sometimes for inches, we are using ito, yung parang, ano siya, apostrophe. Okay? So yan po yan yung apostrophe. Now, so dapat familiar din po tayo sa mga symbols na ginagamit. Kasi minsan, ito po ang given aside from this. Okay? And then, of course, you also have to know the equivalence. Now, for 1 inch, lahat po ito ay 1. Okay? For every 1 inch, that is equivalent to 1/12 feet. For every 1 foot, that is equivalent to 12 inches. For every 1 yard, that is equivalent to 3 feet. For every 1 mile, that is equivalent to 5,280 feet. Now, by the way, meron tayong tinatawag din na nautical mile. Iba po yun. Okay? So, iba po yung mile sa nautical mile. Iba po yung equivalent nun. Okay? Now, so again ha, ito po ay 1. So, for every 1 inch, that is 1/12 feet. For every 1 foot, that is 12 inches, and so on. Now, if you will try to imagine, to visualize the length of these units, so actually, itong 1 inch, which is also 1/12 feet, this is actually, so this is just approximation ha, this is actually near, malapit siya, yung sukat niya sa length of half of your thumb. So, tingnan mo yung thumb mo, yung gitna niya, yung guhit dyan, that is half of your thumb, that is actually 1 inch. That is an approximation. Okay? And then for 1 foot, that is equivalent to length of an adult foot. Okay? So, yung paa ng isang adult, yun po ang approximation ng isang 1 foot. Okay, again ha, this is just approximation. And then, para ma-visualize lang natin gaano siya kahaba. Okay? And then, for 1 yard, so kagaya na pinakita ko kanina, that is actually from your nose out to outstretch. Okay? From your nose to outstretch fingertips. So, kailangan naka-extend yung arm mo. So, simula sa nose mo hanggang dun sa middle finger. Okay? Yung tip ng middle finger, that is 1 yard. Okay. So, let us try to convert measures of length in the English system. Okay. Now, remember, if you are converting, let's say, for example, yard to feet, okay, yard to feet, pagpakanan tayo, if you are from left to right, multiply. If you are from right to left, divide. Okay? So, yun lang yung tip na maibibigay ko. Okay. So, you are asked to convert 1 yard is how many inches? Okay, so 1 yard is how many inches? Paano natin siya gagawin? Okay, tingnan mabuti. Tatandaan na kapag nagko-convert tayo, kung ano yung given mo, so since your given is 1 yard, dapat yun yung nasa denominator. Okay? Bakit? For us to cancel. Kasi hindi mo siya makakancel, we need to cancel this eh. So, hindi mo siya makakancel kung hindi pareho ng units yan. So, ang goal mo palagi, dapat kung ano yung nandito, dapat yung denominator mo kapareho nun ng unit. Okay? Now, for every 1 yard, so hanap tayo dito ng equivalence ng yard to feet. Okay? Ma'am, bakit hindi yard to inches? Okay, wala tayong yard to inches dito. Yard to feet muna. Tapos, pag gawa mo na siyang feet, saka mo siya magagawang inches. Okay, ulitin ko. So, yard muna, for every 1 yard, diba sabi ko kanina, this is 1, for every 1 yard, that is equivalent to 3 feet. Okay, yun muna ang gagawin natin. 3 feet muna, hindi tayo mag-i-inches. Kasi, yard to feet yung nandito natin. So, para magawa mo siyang inches, kailangan mag-feet muna para feet to inches. Now, so 1 yard, that is equivalent to 3 feet. Etong feet mo, so dapat ipapareho mo siya doon para makancel natin to. So for every 1 foot, eto sabi ko kanina, for every 1 foot, that is equivalent to 12 inches. So yan ang ilalagay mo ngayon sa taas. Etong numerator and denominator mo, this is the ratio. Ito yung equivalence niya. Okay? So for every 1 yard, that is equivalent to 3 feet. For every 1 foot, that is equivalent to 12 inches. So dito tayo tumitingin sa table. For every 1 foot, that is equivalent to 12 inches. Okay, now, kung mapapansin nyo, from left to right tayo and then left to right ulit. Anong sabi ko kanina pag left to right? Multiply. Okay, so but before that, let us cancel first the units. So makakancel natin to, tatandaan. Kung ano yung unit mo dito, dapat yun yung nasa denominator para makancel mo sila. Okay, so we now have 1 times 3, lahat ng naiwan, 1 times 3 times 12. So, ito po siya, 1 times 3 times 12 over 1. 1 times 1, that is 1 pa rin naman. So, hindi na natin ilalagay. So, 1 times 3, that is 3, times 12, that is 36. Ano yung naiwan na unit? Inches. Okay? So, kung mapapansin nyo, puro symbol lang po ang ginamit ko dito. So, ito po ang way ng pag-convert ng English to English units. Okay? So, therefore, 1 yard is equivalent to 36 inches. Okay? Kung ano po yung naiwan na unit. Next, let's have another. So, I have here 15,840 feet. Okay? How many miles do we have in 15,840 feet? Okay, so ang conversion natin this time is feet to miles. So, from right to left. So, dun agad makikita nyo, division ito. Kasi kanina, yard to feet, feet to inches, nagmultiply tayo. Now, this time, since feet to miles siya, right to left, division ito. Okay, minsan yun ang mga tandaan natin para hindi tayo malito mag-convert. Okay? Now, so, dapat kabisado ninyo itong equivalence. Okay? Kasi ang English system, it's more on memorization. Dapat memorize nyo yung equivalence niya. Unlike the metric. Okay. So, lagay natin. So, right here given, 15,840 feet. Now, since feet ito, dapat pareho siya doon sa denominator ng unit. Okay? Then, i-convert natin siya sa mile. So, therefore, ito ang gagawin nating 1 mile. Now, 1 mile is equivalent to, ano nga ulit yung kanina? 1 mile is equivalent to 5,280 feet. Okay, laging ganon. Kung ano yung unit mo dito, ilagay mo kagad feet, tapos mile sa taas. And then, yung dalawa na yon, feet and mile, tingin ka sa table, feet and mile. Ibig sabihin, sa mile, ilalagay mo 1. Sa feet, ilalagay mo 5,280. Tingin ka dun sa table of values mo. Now, so we can now cancel the feet. Okay? So, therefore, we will have 15,840 times 1, that is still 15,840. Divided by 5,280, so that is equivalent to 3 miles. So, kung ano yung naiwan na unit, ayun po siya. So, therefore, 15,840 feet is equivalent to 3 miles. Next, let's proceed to the weight, the measures of weight in the English system. So, this is the table of equivalence in the English system for weight. So, ito po yung mga ginagamit natin. We have the ounce, pounds, and ton. Okay? So, ito po ang mga symbols na ginagamit natin. For ounce, it is OZ. And then for pounds, it's LB. And then for ton, it's T. Okay? For the equivalence, 1. So, lahat to 1 ha. For every 1 ounce, that is 1 over 16 pounds. For every 1 pound, that is equivalent to 16 ounce. And then for every 1 ton, that is equivalent to 2,000 pounds. Okay? So, approximation, gaano nga ba kabigat itong 1 ounce? that is just the weight of the pen. So, pag meron kang hawak na ball pen, that is 1 ounce. Okay? So, this is just approximation na para lang ma-visualize natin gaano kabigat itong mga to. And then, for 1 pound, that is actually approximate of 3 oranges. So, pag may hawak kang 3 orange, yun po ang 1 pound approximation. And then, for 1 ton, that is the weight of a container van. Ayan. Pag may mga nakikita tayo ng container van, that is 1 ton. Ganun siya kabigat. Okay? So, let's try to convert the measures of weight in the English system. So, I have here 16 ounce. We have to convert this into pounds. So, paano natin siya gagawin? So, ounce to pounds. So, left to right. So, anong gagawin natin? Una muna, copy your given. Okay? Copy your given we have. Okay, so we have 112 ounce. So, ito po siya. Medyo may typo tayo kanina. So, 112 ounce converted to pounds. So, paano natin siya gagawin? Copy your given. Since this is, your unit here is ounce. So, anong gagawin natin? Dapat kapareho siya nun. Laging ganon. Okay. Now, balikan nyo yung table. Ounce and pounds ang pair natin. So, ounce and pounds. So, ibig sabihin dito ka. So, ounce and pounds. So, ibig sabihin, yung pounds mo ang 1, yung ounce mo ang 16. So, laging ganon. Tingin sa table. So, ounce. So, matik yan na dapat yung ounce mo ang nasa denominator. And then, since ang pair natin ay ounce and pounds, titingin sa table. So, therefore, this is 1. Yung pounds mo ang 1. Yung ounce mo ang 16. Okay. So, we now have, makakancel natin yung ounce. And then, we will have 112 because 112 times 1, that is 112. And then, over 16. So, 112 divided by 16, that is equivalent to 7 pounds. So, therefore, 112 ounce is equivalent to 7 pounds. Let's have another. So, I have 24 tons. Okay? So, how many pounds then ang hinahanap natin? Okay, so tons and pounds. So, ito siya. Ito yung pair natin dyan. Okay, so copy your given, 24 ton. And then, so, since ton ito, dapat tons din yung nasa baba. Okay, so ang pairing natin is tons and pounds. So, tingin ka sa table, tons and pounds. Ibig sabihin, dun sa tons, ang ilalagay mo ay 1. Sa pounds, ang ilalagay mo ay 2,000. So, lagi kang tingin sa table of equivalence mo. So, yung tons mo ay 1, yung pounds mo ay 2,000. Okay? So, we can now cancel the unit, yung same unit natin. So, we now have 24 times 2,000 divided by 1, that is still 24 times 2,000. So, that is 48,000. So, 24 times 2, that is 48,000 pounds. Okay, so therefore 24 tons is equivalent to 48,000 pounds. So, ganun lang po lagi ang gagawin. Next, let's proceed to the weight measures of capacity in the English system. So, ito naman po ang kanyang table of equivalence. We have the units pint, quart, gallon. So, this is read as pint. Okay, where the symbols are PT, QT, and GAL. Okay. So, pint is equivalent to 2 cups and quarts is equivalent to 2 pints. So, kung meron kang 2 pints, ibig sabihin, kung ang 1 pint ay 2 cups, therefore, ang 2 pints ay 4 cups. Kaya, this is also equivalent to 4 cups. Okay? And then, 1 gallon is equivalent to 4 quarts. Okay? So, kung yung isang quart ay 2 pints, therefore, kung 4 quarts, 4 times 2, that is also equivalent to 8 pints. And then, kung meron kang 8 pints naman, 8 times 2, that is equivalent to 16 cups. Okay, so I hope naiintindihan. So, actually kasi pag kabisado mo ito, madali na eh. Okay, kahit hindi ka na gumamit ng mga cancellation na pinakita ko kanina ng mga examples, pag meron kang 10 cups, ilang pints yun? E di 10 divide 2, that is 5 pints. Pag meron kang 12 cups, ilang quarts yun? So 12 divide 4, that is 3 quarts. Pag meron kang 3 gallons, so ilang quarts yun? So 3 times 4 lang. That is 12 quarts. Okay, ganun lang siya kadali. So, pag meron kang 3 quarts, ilang pints? So, 3 times 2, that is 6 pints. Okay? So, dapat memorize natin to. Okay? Now, gaano nga ba karami ang isang pint? Okay, ang isang pint is approximation kung gaano karami yung mailalagay mo sa isang malaking baso. Okay, that is 1 pint. And then for gallon, that is yung amount na mailalagay mo sa isang balde. Okay? So, let's have an example. So, I have here 5 pints. So, again lagi tayong 1 dito. For every 1 pint, 2 cups. For every 1 quart, 2 pints yon, which is also equivalent to 4 cups. For every 1 gallon, that is 4 quarts, which is also equivalent to 8 pints or 16 cups. Okay? So, I have here 5 pints. So, dito tayo. So, 5 pints. So, since pint ito, pint dapat ang nandito. Okay? So, hanapin mo yung table of equivalent ng pint and cup. So, ito siya. Pint and cup. Okay? So, 1 yung pint. Ang ilalagay mo sa pint ay 1 kasi sabi ko laging 1 yan. Ang pint mo ay 1, ang cup mo ay 2. Yun ang ilalagay mo. Now, so makakancel natin ito. We now have 5 times 2, that is 10 cups. So, 5 pints is equivalent to 10 cups. Next, I have 10 gallons. Okay, so how many cups? So, gallon and cups naman. Okay. So, meron tayo ditong cups. So, ibig sabihin, itong gallon mo, kailangan pareho siya doon. Now, for 1 gallon, that is equivalent to 4 quarts. Okay? So, for 1 gallon, that is equivalent to 4 quarts. So, yun ang ilalagay mo sa taas. Now, quarts ito, so dapat quarts yon. So, quarts and pints naman. So, quarts and pints, yung quarts mo ay 1, yung pints mo ay 2. And then, since pints ito, so this is also pint. So, pint, for every 1 pint, that is 2 cups. Okay? So, ito yung mahaba. Okay? So, mamaya ituturo ko yung shortcut since meron na tayo ditong equivalent ng 16 cups. So, makakancel na natin ito. Ito, ayun. Okay. Since wala tayong diretsong conversion dito sa table na gallon to cups agad, so kaya meron tayong ganitong long method pa. Okay? Pero later, explain ko kung paano, kaya dapat kabisado nyo ito. Okay? So, going back. So, we now have 10 times 4 times 2 times 2. So, 10 times 4 times 2 times 2. So, 10 times 4, that is 40, times 2, 80, times 2, 160 cups, kung ano yung naiwan na unit. So, therefore, 10 gallons is equivalent to 160 cups. Okay, or simply, ganito po. Since meron na tayo dito na 16 cups, so 10 gallons, 'di ba, gallon to cups. Anong sabi ko? From left to right, magmumultiply ka. Pag right to left, divide. So, gallon to cups. So, gallon to cup. So, left to right yan. So, multiply. So, 10 times 16, that is 160. Okay? Kaya nga, mas madali kung kabisado natin ito. Hindi mo na to gagawin. Mas madali siya. Okay. So, let's have now the English to metric system and vice versa. So, ito naman, papasok na po dito yung metric system. Okay. So, paano natin siya gagawin? So, dapat kabisado natin yung conversion ng English to metric. So, yung 1 inch, so lahat ito 1. Lagi pong ganon, lahat ito ay 1. For every 1 inch, that is equivalent to 2.54 centimeters. Okay? For every 1 yard, sa English, that is equivalent to 0.9144 meters. For every 1 mile, that is equivalent to 1.609 kilometers. For every 1 pound, that is equivalent to 0.4536 kilograms. For every 1 gallon, that is equivalent to 4.546 liters. And for 1 Fahrenheit, that is equivalent to, we're going to use this formula, pero ito ay separate ang discussion natin dito. So, yung susunod nating video tutorial, magpo-focus lang po tayo dito. So, skip natin to. Okay? So, focus tayo dito sa 5. Okay. Again, ito po ay 1. So, 1 inch, 1 yard, 1 mile, 1 pound, 1 gallon are all equivalent to these values into metric system. Okay, so dapat memorize natin ito. Okay, let's have example. So, I have here 9 miles to kilometer. Okay? So, balikan natin yung table. So, yung miles, i-convert mo sa kilometer. So, kung meron kang 1 mile, that is 1.609 kilometer. Now, since mile to kilometer tayo, left to right, ibig sabihin multiply. Kung ito ay kilometer to mile, pabaliktad, magdi-divide ka. Kapag mile to kilometer, ita-times mo siya sa 1.609. Pag kilometer to miles, i-divide mo siya sa 1.609. So, baliktad lang po, vice versa. Mile to kilometer, ita-times mo siya dito. Kilometer to miles, i-divide mo siya dito. Okay. So, since we have miles to kilometer, so we're going to multiply. So, ito ang pinapakita ko sa inyo para ma-practice kayo na mag-convert ng ganito. Okay? Pero kung alam ko mas mabilis na titingin na lang kayo sa table and then i-multiply nyo na lang or i-divide, okay din yon. Kaya lang mas okay kung ma-practice din kayo on how to convert using this method. Okay? So, lagi nga tatandaan na kung ano yung unit mo dito, yun din po ang denominator. Okay, now, since mile and kilometer tayo, mile, kilometer, so for every 1 mile, so ang 1 ilalagay mo dito, that is equivalent to 1.609 kilometer. So, yun ang ilalagay mo sa taas. Makakancel natin siya ngayon. So, therefore, we will have 9 times 1.609, that is equivalent to 14.481 kilometers. Okay, next. I have 24 liters to gallon. So, ito naman tayo. 24 liters to gallon. So, ito naman, from right to left. Magko-convert tayo to liters, from liters to gallon. So, ibig sabihin, we're going to divide. Okay? So, since from right to left tayo, again, copy your given first. So, 24 liters. So, since liters ito, yun din po dapat ang unit mo sa denominator. Now, yung liters at gallon mo, ito, 1 gallon is equivalent to 4.546 liters. Kaya dapat memorize po ito. So, we can now cancel liters. So, we now have 24 times 1, that is 24, over 4.546. So, magdi-divide tayo ngayon. Kagaya nga ng sinabi ko, pag right to left, divide. Okay? So, 24 divided by 4.546, that is equivalent to 5.28 gallons. Okay, next. So, I have here 184 inches to centimeters. So, inches to centimeters. So, left to right. So, therefore, we're going to multiply. So, again, copy your given, and then kung ano yung unit mo dito, ganun din po sa denominator. So, we can cancel. And then, for every 1 inch, that is 2.54 centimeters. Nagbe-base po tayo sa table. Now, so, we can now cancel. So, 184 times 2.54, that is equivalent to 467.36 centimeters. Next. So, I have 90 pounds to kilograms. So, ito ang pounds 2 kilograms. So, left to right ulit tayo. So, multiply. So, we will have copy your given. So, copy natin yung unit. So, since pounds ito, pounds dapat ito. Now, for every 1 pound, that is equivalent to 0.4536 kilogram. Okay, so we can now cancel pounds. So, magmumultiply tayo since from left to right siya. So, 90 times 0.4536 is equivalent to 40.824 thousands kilograms. So, 40.824 kilograms. Okay. Okay, test yourself. So, convert the following English units. And convert the following from English to metric units. Okay, you may pause the video kung kulang po ang time.
That's good.
Hi mga ka-Wowmat, in this video we will discuss the measures of time. Our objectives, we will define time and we will convert measurements of time. Also, I will also give examples on how to operate time. So, papasok dito yung addition, subtraction, and multiplication. Okay, so let us define first what is time. So, a time, the basic unit of time is second. So, it is second. Ang symbol natin dyan is S. Okay? And that time is introduced with clocks and calendar. So, we can indicate or we can tell the time using calendars and clock. Okay, so ito yung mga instrument na ginagamit natin para malaman natin o ma-identify, ma-indicate natin kung anong araw na, anong oras na. Also, for us to recognize yung ating mga special events para matandaan natin yung mga occasions. So, time, the calendar and clock helps us to remember those important events and occasions. So, time is recorded by either a 12-hour clock or the 24-hour clock. Ano nga bang pagkakaiba ng 12-hour and 24-hour? Okay. So, I know mas familiar tayo sa 12-hour clock kasi ito ang ginagamit natin. But I will show you on how to use the 24-hour clock so that if you will encounter this, you know how to read this. Okay? O anong oras na siya. Okay? So, at 12-hour clock and at 24-hour clock. So, meron tayong dalawang klase ng settings. Actually, makikita nyo to sa cellphone eh. Pwede kang mamili dun sa settings ng cellphone mo. If you want to use the 12-hour clock or the 24-hour clock, pag sa ibang bansa, kapag sa ibang bansa, ang ginagamit nila ay 24-hour clock. So, dito sa atin, ang ginagamit natin ay 12-hour clock. Okay. So, 12-hour clock, ito yung ginagamitan natin ng AM at PM. Okay? Ano nga ba ang ibig sabihin ng AM? So, AM, this is actually anti-meridian. Okay? Ito ibig sabihin nun before noon. Okay? So, pag sinabing AM, ito ay simula ng midnight, from midnight to before noon. Okay? Okay, so let me repeat. So, pag sinabi nating AM sa 12-hour clock, AM means before noon. So, ito yung simula midnight, yung hating gabi hanggang sa bago magtanghali. Yun yung AM. Yun yung covered ng AM natin. Okay? While PM, this is the post-meridian. Okay, ito yung afternoon. So, afternoon, ito naman yung simula ng tanghali hanggang sa bago mag-midnight. Yun naman yung PM. Kaya 'di ba pag sa atin dito sa Philippine time, pag nagtatanong ng oras, 8 AM. 8 AM ibig sabihin umaga. 8 PM ibig sabihin gabi. Simula after ng tanghali, simula tanghali hanggang bago mag-midnight, that is PM. While from midnight hanggang tanghali naman, bago magtanghali, that is AM. Yun ang AM natin. So, I know, familiar naman tayo dito sa AM, kung saan natin ginagamit ang AM at PM. Okay? Now, yung 24-hour clock, ito rin yung kilala natin bilang military time. So, ito yung tinatawag nating military time na meron siyang 1 to 12 at 13 to 24. So, ano nga ba ang pagkakaiba nito? Bakit siya merong 13 to 24? Because sa 24-hour clock, hindi ito ginagamitan ng AM at PM. Hindi kagaya ng 12-hour clock, kapag halimbawa 8 AM, meron din tayong 8 PM. 3 AM, meron din tayong 3 PM. Ibig sabihin umaga at gabi. Okay? O kaya naman umaga at hapon. Okay? So, yun po yung ibig sabihin ng AM, PM sa 12-hour clock. Pagdating sa 24-hour clock, wala siyang AM, PM. Kapag ang oras dito ay from 1 to 12, ibig sabihin yun ang AM nila. Okay? So, yun ang AM nila. Pag ang time nila ay 1 to 12, ibig sabihin AM yun. Hindi na nila nilalagay na AM. Okay? Kapag yan ay 13 to 24, that means PM. Yun ang afternoon nila. Okay? So, 1 to 12, that is before noon. Yun yung AM na ginagamit natin. And then, 13 to 24, instead of writing PM, 13 to 24 ang ginagamit nila. Now, paano ba sinusulat itong 24-hour clock na to? This is actually a 4-digit number to indicate the time. So, ito ay ginagamitan ng 4 na digits. Yung first 2 digit mo, yun yung hour. Yung last 2 digits mo, yun yung minutes. So, halimbawa, sa atin ay 2 p.m. Okay? Sa atin, 2 p.m. Sa kanila, since p.m., afternoon, yun sa kanila, yung 2 p.m. sa 12-hour clock, that is actually 1400. Okay? So, 4 digits sila palagi. 4 digit to palagi. 1400. Hindi nila ginagamitan ng PM. Okay? So, halimbawa, 10 p.m. sa 12-hour clock. So, yung 10 p.m. since PM siya, eto yan, from 13 to 24. 10 p.m., that is 2200. Okay? So, wala siyang PM. Hindi siya ginagamitan ng PM. Okay, let's have an example. Okay. Write each time in a 12-hour and a 24-hour clock. Okay? So, if the given time is 8 o'clock in the morning, sa 12-hour clock, this means 8 a.m. Okay? So, 8 a.m. yan. Yung quarter to 5 in the afternoon, ibig sabihin, this is quarter means 15 minutes before, 15 minutes to 5 p.m. Okay? Or 15 minutes before 5 p.m. So, that is 4:45 p.m. Kasi afternoon. And then next, half past. Ibig sabihin, half, that is 30. So, past 11, so 11:30 p.m. Kasi this is evening. And then for 10 minutes to midnight, ibig sabihin 10 minutes before midnight. And midnight is 12 midnight. Okay, so what is 10 minutes before 12? So that is 11:50 p.m. Okay, so this is how we write the 12-hour clock given this time. Now, how are we going to write this time into 24-hour clock? So, lagay natin yung clock dito. Okay? So, since AM ito, okay? So, ang AM nila, 1 to 12, sabi ko nga kanina, ang PM nila, 13 to 24. Ulitin ko ha. Ang AM is 1 to 12, ang PM is 13 to 24. So, kung gagamit tayo ng 24-hour clock, 8 AM, paano siya isusulat sa 24-hour clock? Since sabi ko nga, lagi siyang 4 digits. 4 digits. So, kung 8 a.m., 0800. Okay? So, hindi po to ginagamitan ng AM at PM. Next, so since this is PM, ang PM natin afternoon from 13 to 24. Okay. Tingnan natin ang 4:45. Ito ang 4:16. So 16:45. 16:45. So maglalagay lang tayo ng space sa gitna. Ito yung hour, ito yung minutes. Okay? So hindi po siya gagamitan ng PM. Kapag ganito po siya, nakasulat siya into 4 digits, ibig sabihin 24-hour clock ang ginagamit dito. Next, so this is 11:30 PM ulit. So ito yung 11. So 23, 23:30. And then this one, PM again. So ibig sabihin from 13 to 24 ito. So 11 ulit, so 23:50. Okay, so sana naintindihan. Next, let's proceed to the equivalence of time. So, these are the units of time measured. So, tandaan po na for every 1 millennium, that is 1,000 years. For 1 century, that is 100 years. For 1 score, that is 200 years. Wait, it should be 20 years, sorry. Okay, so again, for 1 score, this is 20 years. For 1 decade, that is equivalent to 10 years. For 1 year, that is equivalent to 12 months or 365 and 1/4 days. Pag leap year naman, pag leap year naman, iba po ang bilang ng days natin doon. Okay? Okay. So, for 1 month, that is equivalent to 4 weeks. For 1 week, that is equivalent to 7 days. For 1 day, that is 24 hours. Ito, alam na natin ito. For 1 hour, that is 60 minutes. For 1 minute, that is 60 seconds. Okay. So, again, ang leap year po ay iba po dun sa regular year po natin. So, nababawasan siya ng 1 araw. Okay, so kapag leap year po, nagiging 366 siya. Hindi nababawasan ha, nagdadagdag siya. So, 366 because of yung yung February. So, minsan 'di ba wala tayong 29, minsan merong pang 29 day. Okay, so kaya pag leap year nagiging 366 siya. Okay. So, make sure na alam natin itong table of equivalence para pag nag-convert tayo ng time, we know how to convert using the equivalence in other units. So, dapat alam natin to. Okay, let's have the first example. How many minutes are there in 1 day? So, since minutes tayo, ilang minuto daw meron sa loob ng isang araw? So, anong gagawin? So, kagaya ng pag-convert natin sa metric and English system. So, kung ano yung unit mo dito, ganun din yung unit mo dito sa denominator. Now, for 1 day, based dun sa ating table, kung memorize nyo, walang problema. Mas maganda kung memorize natin siya. Okay? So, for 1 day, that is equivalent to 24 hours. Okay? So, dapat kunin muna natin yung ratio nito. 1:24 yan. Okay? Kasi hindi mo pwedeng agad na day in 2 minutes. Okay? Daan muna tayo dun sa hours. So, sa isang araw, meron siyang 24 hours. So, since hours na to, ang unit mo dito, hours, ganun lagi. Kung ano unit mo dito, yun din dapat dito para makancel natin siya. So, kung hours na to, dapat hours ito. Now, ang 1 hour is equivalent to 60 minutes. Kunin mo rin yung ratio nun. Okay. So, therefore, we will have makakancel na natin si day, si hour. So, ang maiiwan is minutes. Okay? So, we will have 1 times 24 times 60 divided by 1 times 1. Okay, so may iwan yung unit ng minutes. So 1 times 24 times 60, that is equivalent to 1,440 minutes. So since 1 times 1 is over 1, so ito pa rin siya ang sagot. So 1,440 divided by 1, that is still 1,440. Okay, so therefore, we have 1,440 minutes in one day. Let's have the next example. How many decades in 300 years? Okay, so ilang dekada meron sa 300 years? Kung memorize mo yung units of measure ng time, actually yung iba, kaya na nila i-mental to 300, magdi-divide lang sila into 10. Pwede naman ganun, mas mabilis yun, okay? But if you want to show the solution, ganito po ang gagawin. So, 300 years, copy yung given, kung ano yung given mo. So, since ito ang given natin, yun ang ilalagay natin dito, 300 years. So, since ito ang unit, yun dapat ang unit mo sa denominator para makancel natin yan. Now, sa loob ng 10 taon, since decade ang hinahanap natin, so for every 1 decade, kunin mo yung ratio niya, for every 1 decade, that is equivalent to 10 years, right? So, ibig sabihin, 1 decade is equivalent to 10 years. Now, so makakancel na natin ito, yung years. Lagi pong ganun, dapat pareho ng unit para makancel. So, 300 times 1, that is 300. And then, over 10. So, 300 divided by 10, that is 30 decades. Okay? Yung mga memorized na yung units of measure, 300 divide by 10 lang to. Kasi for every 1 decade, that is 10 years. So, 30 decades. So, kahit hindi mo na isolve ng ganito. Pero, if your teacher asks you to show your solution, then you have to show it. Okay? And then next, how many hours in a week? So, ang given natin, laging unang ilalagay yung given. We have 1 week. Okay? In a week, ibig sabihin 1 week yun. And then, ang hinahanap ay hours. So, sa loob ng isang linggo, meron tayong 7 days. Okay? Meron tayong 7 days. So, kailangan week para makancel. Now, since this is already day, so dapat day yung nasa denominator. Now, sa isang araw, meron tayong 24 hours. So, lagi mo kukunin yung ratio 1:7. 1 week is equivalent to 7 days. 1 day is equivalent to 24 hours. So, makakancel na natin ngayon yung week at yung days. Okay, ang naiwan, hours. Now, 1 times 7 times 24 tayo, lahat ng naiwan. And then, 1 times 1. Ulitin ko, 1 times 7 times 24, and then 1 times 1. So, ito po siya. So, therefore, 1 times 7 times 24, that is 168 hours. So, since ito ay 1 times 1 over 1 pa rin naman, so 168 hours pa rin po siya. Okay? So, therefore, we have 168 hours in 1 week. So, this is how we convert measures of time. So, dapat kabisado po natin yung table of equivalence. Next, let's have few examples of operations on time. Okay? So, let's have first addition. So, if you will be given 6 months, 94 days, 80 hours, plus 5 months, 20 days, 10 hours. Okay, and then if you are asked to add, so anong gagawin? That is 90 hours. This is 114 days. This is 11 months. Okay, is this your final answer? No. Okay, bakit? We all know that from 90 hours, we can still have days. Bakit? Kasi for us to have 1 day, para makabuo tayo ng isang araw, we only need 24 hours. Right? So, para makabuo tayo ng isang araw, dapat meron ka lang 24 hours. So, ibig sabihin, pwede mo pa to i-simplify. Hindi pwede na ito na yung sagot mo. Okay? Kasi malaki pa yung numbers mo eh. So, since may mabubuo pa tayong araw dito from 90 hours mo, ilang 24 hours. Bakit 24? Kasi for us to have one day, dapat meron kang 24 hours, right? So, ilang 24 hours meron dito? So, 90 divided by 24, that is 3. Okay. So, yung 24 hours na yon, so meron tayong tatlong 24 hours dito. So, 24 hours times 3, that is 72. Ima-minus na natin siya dun sa 90. Kasi ito ay equivalent sa tatlong araw because 24 times 3, that is 72. So, therefore, kung nakabuo ka ng tatlong araw, magpa-plus 3 tayo dito ng 3 days. So, 114 days plus 3, we will now have 117 days. Okay? Ulitin ko, 114 days plus 3, that is 117 days. Now, from 117 days, is this your final answer? Not yet. Why? Dito sa 117 days natin, makakabuo ka pa ng buwan. Okay? So, pwede mo pa siya i-convert into months para yung number natin mas mababa. Okay. So, let's say na para fix tayo, standard, we will be using 30 days sa isang buwan. Okay. So, ilang buwan meron dito sa 117 days? So, kung ang isang buwan ay may 30 days, ilang 30 days meron dito? Okay, very good. 3. So, yung 3 buwan na yon, so 3 times 30, that is how many days? So, ilan ang ibabawas na natin dito sa 117 days? 90. So, magbabawas na tayo ng 90 days, which is equivalent to 3 months. So, magpa-plus tayo ng 3 dito. Yung 90 days mo, that is equivalent to 3 months. So, plus 3 tayo. So, 11 plus 3, that is 14 months na. Now, 14 months, pwede pa natin to i-convert into year. So, kung mako-convert natin to into year, ilang months ang dapat meron ka para makabuo ka ng isang taon. So, we need to have 12 months. So, therefore, magma-minus tayo ng 12 dito. Okay, so let us solve. So, 90 minus 72, this is 18 hours na lang ang natitira. Makakabuo pa ba tayo ng isang araw dito? Hindi na po. So, therefore, ito na ang final answer natin dito. Next, yung 117 days mo na binawasan natin ng 90 days dahil pwede pa siya i-convert into 3 months. So, 117 minus 90, that is 27 days na lang, which is not enough para makabuo ka ng buwan. So, since hindi na siya pwede, eto na siya. Okay? And then, yung 14 months mo, since na pwede pa siya i-convert into 1 year, so nag-minus tayo ng 12 months. So, ilang buwan na lang ang matitira? 14 minus 12, that is 2 months na lang po. At itong 12 months na minus mo, that is equivalent to 1 year. So, therefore, double check mo ulit, hindi na to makakabuo ng isang araw. We cannot have a month from 20 days, so 27 days, at hindi na rin tayo makakabuo ng isang taon dito. So, therefore, our final answer is 1 year, 2 months, 27 days, and 18 hours. So, this is how we add operations on time. And then next, what if you have subtraction? Okay. So, I have here 4 days, 5 hours, 10 minutes. 2 days, 6 hours, 30 minutes. So, 10 minus 30, hindi natin to pwedeng i-minus, right? So, hindi siya pwedeng i-minus. So, anong gagawin natin? So, since hindi pwedeng i-minus itong 10 minutes na to, magbaborrow tayo. So, hiram tayo ng 1 oras. And 1 hour is equivalent to 60 minutes. So, therefore, magpa-plus tayo ng 60 dito sa 10. That's why we have 70 minutes na. Ulitin ko, since we cannot subtract 30 from 10, so hiram tayo ng 1 oras dito. At yung 1 oras, hindi mo siya ilalagay na plus 1. Hindi po. Dapat, i-convert mo yung 1 oras into minutes kasi minutes ito. So, yung 1 hour, that is 60 minutes. So, 60 plus 10, that is 70 minutes. Pwede na tayo mag-subtract mamaya. Okay? Now, since nanghiram tayo dito ng 1 oras, magiging 4 hours na lang siya. Kasi nanghiram tayo ng 1 oras. But, we cannot subtract 6 from 4. So, therefore, manghihiram ulit tayo dito sa kabila. Etong 4 hours mo, since hindi mo pwedeng isubtract yung 6 doon, hiram tayo ng 1 araw. So, again, hindi ka pwedeng mag 1 plus 4 dyan. Bakit hindi pwedeng 1? Yung 1 na yon is 1 day. So, yung day na yon, i-convert mo muna into hours. So, yung 1 araw na hihiramin mo dito, that is equivalent to 24 hours. So, magpa-plus tayo dito, plus 24. So, 4 plus 24, that is 28 hours. So, again ha, tuwing manghihiram tayo, i-convert natin siya kung ano yung unit nung nanghihiram. So, since ang nanghiram kanina is minutes, kinonvert ko yung 1 oras sa minutes. Ang nanghihiram naman ngayon ay hours, so kinonvert ko yung 1 araw sa 24 hours. So, lagi pong ganon. So, 24 plus 4, yung naiwan kanina, so 28 hours. So, pwede na tayo mag-subtract mamaya. And then ito, huwag kalimutang mag-minus. So, nanghiram ng 1 araw dito, so we only have 3 days na lang. Okay? So, we can now subtract 70 minus, ito ang tip ko, kapag nagsusubtract tayo, mas okay na ayusin mo muna lahat ito. Manghiram ka na kung kailangan manghiram. If there's a need to borrow, mag-borrow na po tayo. Para pag nag-subtract, wala na po tayong problema. Okay? So, 70 minus 30, that is 40 minutes. 28, kasi nag-plus na tayo dyan. 28 minus 6, that is 22 hours. Okay? And then 3 minus 2, that is 1 day na lang. So, therefore, kaya pa bang may mabuo dito na 1 oras, kagaya dito kanina? Hanggat pwede pa siyang ma-convert, i-convert po natin siya. Okay? Hanggat pwedeng i-simplify, isi-simplify natin. So, therefore, yung 40 minutes, hindi na kaya siya ng 1 oras kasi dapat 60 minutes to. So, eto na po siya. And then, para makabuo ka ng 1 day, dapat 24 hours. So, hindi na rin to kaya. So, therefore, our final answer is 1 day, 22 hours, and 40 minutes. Okay, let's have this one. So, let's have now multiplication. So, a while ago, we have addition and subtraction. Now, this time, we will have multiplication. So, all you have to do is to multiply. So, we will have 20 times 5, that is 100 weeks. 15 times 5, that is 75 months. And then 10 times 5, that is 50 years. Okay. So, is this your final answer? No. Why? Sa 100 weeks, meron ka pang mabubuo dyan na months. So, ilang months, kung ang isang buwan ay merong 4 weeks, ilang months ang mabubuo sa 100 weeks? Okay. May mabubuo ka na 100 divided by 4, okay, 25 months. Okay. So, meron kang mabubuo na 25 months pa dyan. Why? Kasi 100 divide by 4, if for every month ay merong 4 weeks, so 100 divide by 4, that is 25 months. And 25 times 4, so ibig sabihin yun na ang ibabawas natin dyan. Okay? So, therefore, yung 100 divided by 4 weeks, that is 25 months, ibig sabihin magpa-plus tayo ng 25 dito. So, therefore, ilang months na lahat siya? 75 plus 25, that is 100 months. Now, yung 100 months, meron tayong mabubuong ilang years? Ilang years ang mabubuo mo sa 100 months? Okay, 8. Kasi 12 times 8 is 96. So, therefore, dito sa 100 months natin, magma-minus na tayo ng 96 months. Because yung 96 months mo is equivalent to 8 years. So, magpa-plus tayo ng 8 years dito. Okay? So, yung 100 months mo, magbabawas na tayo ng 96 months because 96 months is equivalent to 8 years. 12 times 8 is 96. Okay? So, 50 plus 8, that is equivalent to 58 years. Meron ka ng 58 years. Now, meron tayong score, meron tayong decade, century. Ano ang pwede mong gawin dito sa 58 years para masimplify siya o bumaba ang value niya? So, yung 58 years, pwede mo siyang gawing decades, di ba? For every decade, meron tayong 10 years. So, ilang decades ang mabubuo dito sa 58 years? Meron tayong 5 decades. And 5 decades is equivalent to 5 times 10, that is 50. So, magma-minus 50 tayo. So, therefore, let us solve. Ilan na lang ang matitira? So, again, meron tayong nabuo na 5 decades. So, 100 minus 100, this is already 0. 100 minus 96, we only have 4 months. 58 minus 50, dahil itong 50 ay ginawa nating decades. So, 58 minus 50, we only have 8 years. At hindi na kaya na maging decades pa siya dahil kulang na siya ng 2 years. And then, itong 50 years na minus natin, this is equivalent to 5 decades. So, therefore, our answer is 5 decades, 8 years, and 4 months. Let's have more examples. A bus leaves the station at 23:00. So, this is an example of 24-hour clock kasi 4 digits siya at wala siyang AM, PM. On Saturday and arrives in Legazpi City 8 hours later. Okay? At what time and day will it arrive in Legazpi? So, ang una mong titingnan dyan, ano yung mga given? So, we have 23:00 and then 8 hours. So, after 8 hours daw, nakarating doon. So, intindihin natin ang problem. Umalis siya ng 23:00 ng Saturday. And then, after 8 hours, so magpa-plus tayo, plus 8 hours, nakarating siya doon, ibig sabihin, 23 plus 8, that is 31:00. Now, so we all know that 1 day is equivalent to 24 hours. So, therefore, 31, ima-minus natin siya doon. 31 minus 24, ibig sabihin, nakarating siya doon kasi panibagong araw na siya. So, magma-minus tayo ng 24 hours. Saturday to Sunday, nakarating siya ng 7 a.m. ng Sunday. Okay? So, nakarating siya ng 7 a.m. ng Sunday. Paano ko nalaman na 7 a.m. ito? Bakit a.m.? Kasi po ito ay from 1 to 12. Diba kanina, diniscuss natin? Kapag 1 to 12, ibig sabihin a.m. Pag 13 to 24, p.m. So, nakarating siya, umalis siya ng 11 ng gabi, this is 23 ng Saturday, nakarating siya ng 7 ng umaga, 7 a.m. So, the bus will arrive in Legazpi City at 7 a.m. Sunday. Okay? Let's have the last example. A bus leaves the station at 20:00 on Friday and arrives in Lawag City at 6:00 on Saturday. So, umalis siya ng Friday night. Okay, paano ko nalamang night? Kasi ito ay 24-hour clock and nasaan siya? Nandun siya sa 13 to 24. Ibig sabihin PM to, evening. So, umalis siya ng Friday evening. Nakarating siya ng 6 morning ng Saturday. So, how long is the trip? So, identify your given. So, 20. So, dun sa 20 on Friday. Okay. So, since panibagong araw siya, so i-minus natin. 24 hours minus 20, that is 4. Okay? And then, dun sa sumunod na araw, so dito, may 4 hours na binyahe. So, dun sa a day before, yung Friday, 24 hours minus 20, that is 4 hours. Okay? So, dun sa 4 hours, na umalis siya, okay, ipa-plus natin siya doon sa panibagong araw ng Saturday na nakarating siya ng 6 a.m. So, 4 plus 6, that's why ang travel time niya is 6 a.m. ng Saturday. So, how long is the trip? So, 4 plus 6, that is 10 hours. Okay? So, therefore, the bus travels in 10 hours.
That's good.
Hi mga kawawmat, in this video we will discuss the measures of temperature. Our objectives, we will define temperature and we will convert measurements from degree Fahrenheit to degree Celsius and vice versa. So let us define first what is temperature. It refers to the degree of hotness or coldness. Thermometer is the instrument used in measuring temperature. So, we are using thermometer in finding the temperature of the body heat or even the weather temperature. So, we are using thermometer at two thermometers in body temperature and weather temperature. So, hindi natin ginagamit yung pang-weather sa pang-body at yung body sa pang-weather. Okay? So, magkaiba po ang ginagamit natin na thermometer when we are getting the temperature of the body heat and the weather temperature. Okay? So, lalo na napapanahon nito ngayon. Hindi ka makakapasok sa mga malls, sa kung saan-saan, kapag hindi kinukuha ang iyong body temperature. Kasi, lalo na ngayon, sa panahon ngayon na meron tayong virus. Okay? So, ito ngayon ang pinaka-importante. So, I know familiar tayo dito. Okay? Ginagamit rin natin ito kapag meron tayong lalo na kapag may fever para ma-monitor natin yung body heat, malaman natin kung may lagnat, at ito nga po ang ginagamit natin ngayon bago tayo pumasok sa mga malls, sa botika, kung saan-saan. Okay? So, ito po ang thermometer na ginagamit natin sa ating body. Okay? So, ulitin ko, ang ginagamit natin sa pagkuha ng temperature ay tinatawag nating thermometer. And then this one naman is used to get the temperature of the weather. So ito madalas sa elementary nakikita natin to. So I know yung iba sa atin familiar sa ganitong thermometer na itong pula na to, gumagalaw siya depende sa weather temperature natin, yung atmosphere natin sa loob, sa lugar na yon. Okay? So, ito ay kadalasan makikita mo sa gilid ng pinto, ng room. Sa high school, bihira na, pero sa elementary, madalas itong makita. Okay? So, I know familiar kayo dyan. Next. So, what are the units of temperature? So, we have the degree Celsius, which is the unit in the metric system, and the degree Fahrenheit, which is the unit in the English system. So, ito po ang unit natin sa metric system, degree Celsius, while this one is our unit in the English system, which is the degree Fahrenheit. Okay? So, isa-isahin natin. Let us compare these two. Ano nga ba ang pagkakaiba nilang dalawa? So, degree Celsius, of course, sino ba ang nagpakilala nitong mga to? Dapat dun muna tayo magsimula. So, it is named after the late Anders Celsius. Okay? So, as you can see, pinangalan ng degree Celsius doon mismo sa discover, yung inventor. Okay? So, it is named after Anders Celsius. While this one, it is named after Gabriel Fahrenheit. Okay. Next. It is denoted by the degree and then capital C. So, ito yung degree natin. Ito po yung symbol natin for degree. Itong maliit ng bilog. And then, for degree Fahrenheit, we are using the degree and then capital letter F. Okay? So, degree, this is the symbol for degree. Itong maliit na bilog po natin dito. Next. So, the freezing point, okay, the freezing point, ito yung pinaka, na siya. So, if we're going to compare the freezing point of the degree Celsius and degree Fahrenheit, so the freezing point for degree Celsius is 0, while the freezing point in degrees Fahrenheit is 32 degrees Fahrenheit. So, yun po ang pagkakaiba nila. So, the freezing point, tandaan po, the freezing point in degrees Celsius is 0 degree and the freezing point in degree Fahrenheit is 32. Next, the boiling point naman is 100 degrees Celsius in degrees Celsius and 212 in degrees Fahrenheit. So, that is the boiling point. So, tandaan po ang freezing and boiling point ng degree Celsius and degree Fahrenheit. And of course, for us to get or for us to convert a degree Fahrenheit into degree Celsius, para ma-convert natin yung equivalent na Celsius ng degree Fahrenheit, we're gonna use this formula. Degree Celsius is equivalent to 5/9 times the quantity of the degree Fahrenheit minus 32. While for us to get the degree Fahrenheit, we need to use 9/5 times degree Celsius plus 32. Okay, so this is the difference between the degree Celsius and the degree Fahrenheit. Tandaan po that the degree Celsius is the unit in the metric system and the degree Fahrenheit is the unit in the English system. So, ang mga pangalan nila ay pinangalan po sa mga scientist din po, inventor na nakadiscover nito. Okay? And then, do not forget, madali lang naman siyang tandaan, Celsius, ito po ang kanyang symbol. And then, for Fahrenheit, ito po. Okay. Let's have an example. How are we going to convert degree Fahrenheit into Celsius? So, kasabi ko nga kanina, pinakita natin, paano ko natin kukunin ang degree Celsius given ang degree Fahrenheit. Okay? So, we're going to use this formula. Okay? We are gonna use 5/9 times the quantity of degree Fahrenheit minus 32. So, we will have, copy your formula. Etong degree Fahrenheit na to, you're gonna substitute yung given value mo. So, since degree Fahrenheit ito, ilalagay natin kung ano yung given, and that is 77. Okay? Now, since naka-group sila, enclose sila sa parenthesis, ibig sabihin, you have to perform this first. Ito dapat muna. So, we will have 5/9 times 77 minus 32, that is 45. Now, this time, we have two ways in solving this given. Okay? Pwede ka mag 5 times 45 divided by 9. Pwede rin naman ito. Cancel mo na siya, 45 divide 9, since pwede naman siyang i-divide, 45 divide 9, that is 5. Para pag nag-multiply ka dito, maliit na lang yung value. Hindi kagaya kapag 5 times 45 ang laki, and then di-divide mo siya sa 9. So, para mas madali, i-divide mo na muna, 45 divide 9, that is 5, times 5, times natin siya ngayon, that is 25 degrees Celsius. So, therefore, 77 degree Fahrenheit is equivalent to 25 degree Celsius. Next, let's have another. So, ganun ulit, we're going to convert 65 degree Fahrenheit to degrees Celsius. So, we're going to use this formula. Ganun ulit, lagay natin yung given, substitute natin yung 65 kasi yun ang given natin. Lagay natin siya dito. So, let us solve this first. 65 minus 32, that is 33. Okay, now, 33 divide by 9. So, pwede rin, ulitin ko ha, pwede pong 5 times 33. Pwede rin yun. Pero sabi ko nga, pwede mo munang i-divide muna ito para pag yung sagot na makukuha mo, okay, ay, sorry. Okay, ayan. Mas maliit na. But since hindi siya divisible by 9, okay? Hindi ito divisible by 9, so anong gagawin natin? So, pwedeng i-times mo na muna. 33 times 5, that is 165 divided by 9. Okay? Since hindi siya divisible, magkakaroon ka ng butal dyan. So, 33 times 5, that is 165. Okay. So, 165 divided by 9, that is 18.33. So, hanggat maaari, nakaano lang tayo to the nearest hundreds. Okay? Yung 2 decimal places. So, 18.33 degrees Celsius. Therefore, 65 degree Fahrenheit is equivalent to 18.33 degrees Celsius. Next, let us now convert degree Celsius to degree Fahrenheit naman. Baliktad naman tayo. Okay, so therefore, we're going to use this formula. Iba naman siya ngayon. So, our formula will be the quantity of 9/5 times degree Celsius. Ilalagay natin dito mamaya yung given plus 32. So, dapat unahin mo muna itong nasa loob. Okay? So, substitute natin yung degree Celsius, our given, that is 45. So, since again, divisible siya by 5, pwede ka na munang mag-cancel dito. So, 45 divide 5, that is 9. Okay? And then, ita-times natin ito. 9 times 9, that is 81. Bago tayo mag-plus ng 32. Okay? Hindi pwedeng 9 times, inad mo muna to, 9 plus 32. Hindi po pwede. So, since naka-enclose ito, this means that you have to perform this first before you add 32. So, 9 times 9, that is 81. 81 plus 32. So, 81 plus 32, that is 113 degrees Fahrenheit. So, therefore, 45 degrees Celsius is equivalent to 113 degrees Fahrenheit. Let's have the next one. So, again, we're gonna use the same formula since we are finding for the equivalent of degree Fahrenheit. So, we will have 9/5 times what is your given degree Celsius, that is 28. So, lalagay natin dito 28 plus 32. So, ito, 28, pwede mo siyang i-divide, kaya lang may butal. Pero, pwede na rin. 28 divided by 5, that is actually 5.6. Okay? So, 5.6. Ang mahirap mag-divide is yung kapag repeating siya. But since this is terminating naman, meron siyang exact value. So, 5.6, pwede mo siyang i-divide. Okay? So, 28 divided by 5, that is 5.6. So, we will multiply 9 times 5.6, and that is 50.4. So, tsaka natin i-add yung 32. So, 50.4 plus 32, that is 82.4 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay. So, therefore, 28 degrees Celsius is equivalent to 82.4 in degree Fahrenheit. Okay, test yourself.
That's good.
So, I'm giving you 1 to 2 minutes to answer. If the time is not enough, you may pause the video so you can have enough time in answering the activity. Hi mga kawawmat, in this video, we will discuss the measures of speed. Objectives, we will define speed and we will find the average speed. So, let's have first this question. Which car travels faster? So, I have here car A travels 320 kilometers in 4 hours. And then car B travels 333 kilometers in 4.5 hours or 4.5 hours. So, how are we going to find or to determine which car travels faster? So, to find out which car travels faster, we will find the speed at which each car travels. So, ang hahanapin natin is yung speed nila para malaman natin sinong mas mabilis or anong sasakyan ang mas mabilis. Is it car A or car B? Okay? So, for us to answer and find out which car travels faster, so discuss muna natin ang speed. So, ano nga ba ang speed? Ito yung dapat natin makuha para malaman natin kung anong sasakyan ang mas mabilis. Okay? So, the speed is the rate of distance traveled per unit time. Okay? Speaking mathematically, if I have kph, that means kilometer over hour. So, it means kilometer per hour. Okay? And then, if I have MPS, ito, ginagamit natin to lalo na kapag bumabiyahe tayo, no? Kapag, yung sa kapag bumabiyahe ka, kung ano yung dapat na maximum speed, 'di ba sinasabi yan sa mga balita? So ito po 'yon, yung kilometer per hour, meter per second. So ito namang MPS, that means meter per second. So ito po siya. So kilometer divided by hour, meter divided by s, or second. Okay? And for us to find the average speed, so we're going to divide the total distance traveled divided by the total time taken. So kanina dun sa car A and B natin binigay yung distance na itinakbo nila, and then yung kung ilang oras. Okay? So for us to find out the average speed, we will be dividing the distance and the time taken. Okay? Ano ang gagamitin natin? Is it kph or MPS or meter per second or kilometer per hour? Depende po yan sa unit na binigay sa atin. Okay? Let's have example. A horse runs 135 kilometers in 3 hours. So, you have here 3 questions. First, find its average speed. Number 2, at this rate, how far does it run in 2 hours? And then for number 3, how far can it run in 20 minutes? So, eto po siya. So, para makuha mo tong number 2 and 3, dapat alam mo muna yung number 1. Okay? So, yung horse daw, ang na-run niya is 135 kilometers within. So, sa loob ng 3 oras. Okay? So, kukunin natin ang speed. That is the question number 1. So, for us to find the speed, you have to divide the distance over time. Okay? So, your distance is 135 kilometers divided by 3 hours. Okay? So, therefore, we will get 135 divided by 3, that is 45. Okay? So, since kilometer ito, and this is hour, so, ibig sabihin 45 kilometer per hour. Okay? So, this is 45 kilometer per hour. Now, the second question is, at this rate, so, itong rate na to, how far does it run in 2 hours? Kung ito ang tinatakbo niya sa loob ng 1 oras, kasi kilometer, 45 kilometers kada oras per hour. So, 45 kilometers per hour, gaano kalayo ang itatakbo niya sa 2 oras? So, yun ang isosolve natin. Paano mo gagawin? You just have to multiply. Okay? So, 45 kilometer per hour times 2, that is equal to 80 kilometers. So, this is 80 kilometers. So, ita-times mo lang to sa, alright. So, 90 kilometers. Okay? So, kung 45 siya sa loob ng 1 hour, ibig sabihin, kung 2 hours, so you just have to multiply it by 2. So, 45 times 2, that is 90. Okay? And then next, how far can it run in 20 minutes? Now, eto, so hindi pwedeng 45 times 20, hindi po ganun, okay? So, kung sa 1 oras, ang tinatakbo niya ay 45 kilometers, gaano kalayo ang itatakbo niya kung 20 minutes pa lang? Okay? So, how far can it run in 20 minutes? So, ang gagawin mo muna, kunin mo muna yung fractional part nung 20 minutes sa 60 minutes sa loob ng 1 oras. Anong fractional part ng 20 minutes dun sa 60 minutes sa loob ng 1 oras? Kasi, bakit kailangan natin kunin ito? Kasi ito ay for 1 hour, yung 45. Paano kung hindi pa umabot ng 1 hour? Ilang kilometer siya? So, kunin muna natin. So, 20. So, kakancel natin si minutes. And then, 20 times 1, that is 20 over 60, that is 1/3. Okay? So, yung 20 minutes, 1/3 siya ng 60 minutes. Ibig sabihin, Kung 20 times 3, 60. Kaya 1/3 po siya. Now, nakuha mo na yung fractional part niya. So, ang gagawin natin, i-divide natin si 45 by 3. Or, pwede mo siyang i-times dyan. So, 45 times 1/3, kaya ang mangyayari niyan, division. 45 kilometers divided by 3, that is 15 kilometers. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, kung sa isang oras ay 45 kilometers, ibig sabihin, kung 20 minutes, kasi ang 20 minutes ng 60 ay divide by 3, di ba? 60 divide 20 divide 3. So, 45 divide 3, 15 kilometers. Okay? So, dapat marunong tayo. Pwede mo naman tong hindi gawin kung kaya mo siyang isolve mentally. So, halimbawa, sa 60 minutes, sa loob ng isang oras, 45. 20 minutes lang. So, yung 20 minutes ay 1/3. So, 45 divide 3. Okay? Or 60 divide 23, kaya 45 divide 3, 15. Okay, so it can run to 15 kilometers in 20 minutes. In 20 minutes. Okay, let's have example number 2. So, a cyclist travels 100 kilometers in 5 hours. So, first question is you have to find the average speed. And then, at this rate, how far does it run in 3 hours? And then, how far can it run in 30 minutes? Okay, so hanapin muna natin yung average speed. So always use this formula. So the distance traveled divided by the time taken. So the distance traveled is 100 kilometers and then yung ating time taken is 5 hours. So 100 divided by 5, that is 20 kilometer per hour. So this is the average speed. Okay, so 100 kilometer per hour. I mean 20 kilometers per hour. Okay, so question number 2, at this rate, how far does it run in 3 hours? So kung ang isang oras daw ay 20 kilometers, paano naman, ilan ang tinakbo niya kung sa loob ng 3 oras? So ita-times lang natin yung 20 kilometers natin by 3, and that is 60 kilometers. Okay, so yun yung itinakbo niya sa loob ng 3 hours. Next. So, how far can it run in 30 minutes? So, again, kunin mo yung fractional part nito sa loob ng 60 minutes, sa loob ng 1 hour. Now, we all know na ang 30 minutes is kalahati. Tama? Kalahati siya ng isang oras. So, therefore, kung ito ang isang oras, ito ang tinakbo niya sa loob ng isang oras, kalahati lang yung 30 minutes. So, to 10 kilometers lang sa loob ng 30 minutes. Okay? So, kung kaya mo siyang isolve mentally, pwede naman, di ba? Makukuha natin siya. So, kung sa loob ng isang oras, 20 minutes, 30 minutes lang. Di ibig sabihin, 10 kilometers. Okay? So, i-check natin. So, 30 minutes, kunin natin yung fractional part niya. That is 1/2. Okay? So, kalahati siya ng isang oras, yung 30 minutes. Now, so, ita-times natin si 20 kay 1/2. So, you will have 20 divided 2, that is 10 kilometers. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, sa loob ng 30 minutes, 10 kilometers ang itinakbo ng cyclist. Okay. So, sige nga, balikan natin yung question natin kanina. Which car travels faster? So, ibig sabihin, na-discuss na natin ang pagkuha ng speed, malalaman na natin o makukuha natin ang sagot dito. So, para makuha natin ang speed, anong gagawin? I-divide natin yung distance travel divided by the time taken. So, we will have 320 divided by 4, that is 80 km per hour. Okay? For car B, we have 333 km divided by 4.5 hours. So, that is 74 km per hour. So, ibig sabihin, ito yung kanilang average speed. Ito yung bilis. So, 80 and then 74 kilometers ang natatakbo nila. Now, which car travels faster? So, kung ito ang natatakbo niya at siya ay 74, so ano ang mas mabilis? Car A travels faster since it travels at a greater speed. So, ibig sabihin, obviously, this is 80, this is only 74. So, ibig sabihin, mas mabilis po si Car A. Okay, test yourself. So, I'm giving you 1 minute to answer. And then, if the time is not enough, you may pause the video so you can have more time in answering the question.
That's good.
If you have any question, you can leave a message through my messenger, Junior Kabusao, and you can call me through this number. Thank you for watching. Keep safe and God bless everyone.